Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show, weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right?
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead, hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well. But what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button. And everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. Share the content. There are so many people who need to get great content like this. And it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, we are going to talk about some serious subject matter here, y'all. Some serious subject matter here that probably affects every single black man in America. Every single one of us, probably touches a lot of other people too, but every single one of us are probably touched by this. We're going to talk about black women live in a totally different world. And this is the thing, y'all. We share the planet, but everybody gets to live in their own world. And black women have decided to put this world together that is amazingly crazy. Okay, they live in this crazy different world, and it is what it is. And we're gonna get into it, y'all. We're gonna get into it. And there's many people who say, yeah, all women are crazy. It's just, what kind of crazy can you tolerate? Well, that's because women live in this different world. Okay, and we really gonna examine that. But before we get started, we're gonna take a quick moment to give props with props is due, because we got folks who come through and they help the channel out a great deal. We have people who support the channel financially, and all of them people, I like VIPs, man. They do what needs to be done, and they do it without asking it for it to be done. So all of them, I appreciate you big time, real talk. And I gotta give a special shout out to my main man, Ama Z, who is the sponsor of today's stream. So shout out to Ama Z. He's the sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Yo, that's a great brother right there. Can't say enough good things about the brother. You know, he's definitely has some interesting experiences that he shared with us on this channel. Well, not on this particular one, but some of the ones in the past. If you don't know, y'all, I've lost channels before, but we back rocking again. We building another one up. And hopefully we're gonna get to keep this one, y'all. Hopefully we're gonna get to keep this one. But we building right back up. There ain't nobody stopping the show. Ain't nobody stopping the show. So shout out to Amazi, the sponsor of today's stream. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. And of course, I want to give also a shout to my main man, y'all. My main man. He does it like no other. And y'all know how it goes around here, y'all. There can only be one. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream, my main man, Trail Bentley, representing as he always do. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Always great to see you and others come in. Y'all, and if you ain't been a Highlander of the stream, what is you waiting on, man? What is you waiting on? Somebody got to be first. Why isn't it you? Why isn't it you? But it's always great to see people checking in as the show gets started. So shout out to Trey Billy again. Shout out to my main man, Tunnel Runner is in the building. What's happening, my brother? What's happening? We got Gyogami also here. He done pulled up a seat to the cool table. Mr. Suge to you comes through representing the pit crew. Great to see you, my brother. Great to see you. The righteous teacher is here. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. Floyd Thompson is checking in. Yay, yay. Good to see you here, my brother. Good to see you here. Gold P is in the house. What's going on, my brother? What's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you. Patrick Saint is in the building. Great to see you, friend. Great to see you. We got Sarah B here. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? Good to have you. Good to have you. Inspired Truth Broadcasters here. What's happening? What's happening? Good to see you. Boot Camp just pulled up a seat to the cool table. Always great to see you, brother. Always great to see you, y'all. And I want to talk about this world that Black women live in, okay? Because it's not the world we experience, okay? It ain't the world we experience. It's a whole different kind of world. Now, and you know what, y'all? Because of the ruckus of Gold P, y'all, before we go too far into this, because of the ruckus of Gold P, if you're supposed to have a wrench, say something in the chat real quick so I can see it. I'm gonna try to make sure I give a wrench out every day. So say something in the chat if you're supposed to have a wrench. Every day somebody should be getting their wrench back. Okay, every single day somebody is gonna get their wrench back. Okay, so it is what it is on that note. Okay, and shout out to Gyogami. He says, "Do you still have an email subscribers can contact you through?" Roger. I think there was one in the description of your previous channel or in your video description, if my memory serves me right. Yeah, I got a couple emails, y'all. I got one at therogerreport@gmail.com, and I also got therogerreport@yahoo.com. Okay, so let's say this: if you want to get a hold of me, I'll say go with the Roger Report Live first if you are. Let's go with the Roger Report Live first, y'all. If you're trying to contact me, let's go through there. Let's go through there, and it can definitely help when it comes to getting reconnecting on the channel situation. Okay, it'll definitely be a good reconnect. So shout out to Gyogami. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. All right, now y'all, I'm gonna dive into this world that Black women live in that we don't live in. Okay. Some of us don't even know that they living in this different world. You know, some of us we just walking blindly. We don't see it. We don't get it. You know, and it's a tough situation at times. Okay, tough situation at times when you don't truly know what's going on, when you don't get the game the way you should get the game. But they do live in this different world, which is why they are having some of the troubles that they're having, and they see some of the things as trouble. Because as you know, y'all, as you know, there's some black women who complain about something. And I'm gonna say, shout out to Trust. She say, you know, black women basically, you know, somewhat paraphrasing her, but to my understanding, she accepts the idea that black women gonna find a way to complain about something. Okay, it just is what it is. They gonna complain about something. I don't want to put words in her mouth, but you know, they gonna find a way to complain about something. It just is what it is. Okay, just is what it is. Now they are complaining right now. Yeah, we're in we're at the end of June in 25. We're still in June, about to hit July. They complain about a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot of stuff. Now, do their complaints make sense? Not necessarily. Okay, not necessarily. A lot of them do feel they're old in a lot of different ways. Okay, a lot of different ways. Now, I'm gonna say when I started my very first channel, y'all, I started in 2018. Okay, there's stuff going on right now that was so easy to see in 2018 in a lot of ways. And for those who couldn't see it yet, it should have been predictable. It should have been predictable. But we got black women who, because they live in their own world, I guess they just don't see it the way we see it. And y'all, I'm gonna get right into these clips, y'all. I'm gonna get right into these clips because these were some interesting clips. Okay, there was supposed to be one more, but I think due to a mistake, or me not seeing something in time, we should have had one more in there. That Compassion and Callous did, man. Hey, I just saw your text this morning. My bad about that, Compassion Callous, because I messed it up some kind of way. My bad. It was not deliberate, brother. It was not deliberate. Real talk. It was not deliberate. But we may do something with that clip and add some more to that one because that was an interesting one as well. But I'm gonna say this, y'all. I'm gonna say this. Woo! This was something else. Now, there was a gentleman. Okay, the clip that's in the middle. There was a gentleman talking about women who want princess treatment. And a lot of people will say stuff to their daughter about how she a princess. Okay, is it done in the black community? Yeah, it's done. It's not done as much. Let's keep that real. It's not done as much. Why? Because a lot of black girls don't even live with their daddy. You know who don't call their daughters princesses a lot? Black mothers. There's no it doesn't seem like the majority of black mothers call their daughter a princess. That's for sure. And maybe they called them a princess at some point in time when they was a baby or something. But it's not like it's a regular habit where they tell their daughters they're a princess. But black women do hear that they supposed to be queens, and when they're young, they want to be a princess because before you become a queen, you're a princess. And they do think in those terms. So, it's something kind of crazy in their world because I'm not gonna say it ain't some fathers out there who will call their daughter princess, because a lot of fathers will call their daughter princess. Is it happening in the black community as much? No, because a lot of children just not being raised by their father. Because black women are bad mothers. Okay. Yeah. Oh, did y'all catch that? I'll say that again. In the black community, and I'm talking about the overall black community, there's a lot of black children who are not being raised by their fathers because a lot of black women are bad mothers. Okay. A good indicator that you're a bad mother if your children are being raised somewhere that is not under their father's roof. It's a good indicator that you're a bad mother. Real talk. Okay. I'm not going to say every single black woman raising children and the children are not under the father's roof is a bad mother, but you probably are. Okay. You probably are. The chances that you're not are next to none. Okay, real talk. The chance that you're so I don't want no woman to hear this and think, well, yeah, he's probably not talking about me. No, it's probably you too. It's probably you. If your children are not being raised in their father's home, this is a very good indicator that there's a bad mother involved. Okay, very good indicator. All right, now they live in this world, and somehow black women, even though they don't necessarily hear it as they growing up, they have this thought process that they are a princess or they are a queen. Now, there was a gentleman who said something about what you don't hear about princesses, what you don't hear about queens. Okay, you know, drinking all kinds of alcohol, all kinds of ways. Interesting thing to say, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay. He makes a point. Yeah, I'm gonna say that he does make a point. All right. Now, I don't know if the person who wanted me to use this wants to say who he is, but I threw it in there because of him. I seen it last night. I threw it in there because of him. If he say it's him in the chat, of course I'm gonna share that with you. But you know, he brought this to my attention last night, and shout out to him for doing it. Okay, shout out to him for doing it. Interesting clip about a gentleman speaking about a thing that he does not see princesses doing, something that he does not understand that there's a record of princesses doing. And it definitely wouldn't be something a princess is doing on the regular time. Even if you caught one princess somewhere doing it one time, this is not the type of behavior that princesses engage in on a regular basis, which means they're not going to engage in that behavior as queens either. Okay. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable, who says he had me with that pirate reference. Ho, ho, ho. Now I did find that quite hilarious. Not that black women would fit what he said. That's not what's hilarious about it. Okay. Well, I guess technically it is hilarious because it ain't a joke without them fitting that. But it's funny. It is funny. But when you think about black women, it's hard to say they don't fit the description the young man was talking about. Okay. All right. Now, we got to be sensible, y'all. We got to keep it real. Men like hoes. Okay. We do. All right. Up to a point. Up to a point. Okay. I would never argue with him about the general man doesn't like hoes. I think the general black man likes hoes. He just don't want all the women to be hoes. Okay. He doesn't want 99% of the women to be hoes. He doesn't want 90% of the women to be hoes. Okay. Now we men gonna do some stuff here and there too. I'm pretty sure if it was 5% of them that were hoes or 10% of them that were hoes, that black men would be somewhat okay. I think even if you maybe push it up to about 20% of women were hoes, I think black men could still even work with that. Now that's kind of big to say 20%, but I think even 20%, if 20% of the women were hoes, black men, I believe, could tolerate that somewhat easily. Okay, but when the young man said what he said, man, that fit a whole lot of black women. It ain't no 20% only. That's for sure. Because I do think, black men, we do love hoes up to a point. Okay. We just don't want all the sisters to be hoes. Okay. And right now, if we want to keep it real, a lot of sisters are going to look like hoes. Okay. It just is what it is. A lot of sisters going to look like hoes. Now, I will say, because black women are in this world, but they think I can be a hoe, but I should be respected as a queen. Or I can operate like a hoe, but I should be able to be respected as a queen, which don't make no lick of sense. Cause let me ask you this, y'all. What queen wears a miniskirt? Y'all ever seen that? I ain't never seen no queen wear no miniskirt. All right. Now you can call yourself a queen and wear a miniskirt, but I ain't never seen a queen in a miniskirt. Do y'all remember any queen's legs? I'm just gonna throw that out there, y'all. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Now, maybe some of y'all have. Maybe you seen queens of, in a photo or something, or met a queen of a different culture somewhere around the world. I don't, have y'all seen any queen's legs? Because I'm just going off the top of my head. I don't remember any queen's legs. Okay. Now, shout out to Mr. Sugar to you. He done threw it in the chat, so I'm gonna give him the credit. He said, Roger, you came to mind as soon as I saw that clip. Hey, shout out to you, Mr. Sugar to you, because as you see, I definitely saw it, and I definitely threw it right on in today. I was like, great time. Because the gentleman made such a good point. Okay, the gentleman made such a good point. Okay, they want this princess treatment. They want to grow up to be queens, but we ain't seen no queen's legs. Now, shout out to Kevin 3905. He say Queen Latifah. Now, let's keep it real. Queen Latifah is a name. It's a great name. But Queen Latifah is not a queen. It is what it is, y'all. She's not a queen. I don't have no problem with her calling herself Queen Latifah. I thought that was a great rap name. Okay, I thought it was, pretty good. Okay, pretty good name. It wasn't all worn out all over the place where everybody's calling themselves a queen when she did that. So that was cool. That was cool. Okay. Now, let me deal with this real quick, y'all. Okay, because somebody's being silly in the chat. We got somebody named Toni Morrison, or maybe it's pronounced Tone. Who knows? Now they're about to say something really stupid, y'all, and I can tell that because I saw the very beginning of it. Now, I'm not saying Toni is a stupid person. We're not saying that, y'all. I don't even know Toni. We can't say Toni's a stupid person. We're not gonna just do that. But we do know Toni is saying something extremely stupid right now. So we just, we're not gonna call him a stupid person if this is a dude. Now, it could very well be a woman, because back in the day, y'all, some of y'all may be aware, some of y'all may not. When you had a name that was more of a unisex name, like Tony Candy, if you have an IE on it, that usually was a signal that it was a female. A Y was signal that it was a guy. Now, I'm not saying every parent did that, but that was usually how it worked when people used names that were unisex. IE was normally for girls, Y was normally for boys. Okay? All right, so it's a very good chance that this Toni could be a woman. Okay? And I would say probably a woman, because Toni is offended. We know Toni's offended because of that first sentence here. But Toni says, okay, and matter of fact, I'm going to say also this. We don't even know Toni around here. I ain't seen Toni around. So when you come into a place and you start off like you're offended, I have to accept it at the end of the day. But Toni says, now this is a very dumb thing to say, but we're going to read it. And I only know it's dumb just by the beginning of the first sentence. That's how I know it's dumb. I ain't even read the whole thing, y'all, but I know it's dumb. But here we're going to go with it. Toni Morrison says the male gender is in no position to judge women. Now, that's an absolutely wrong statement, but I'm going to keep reading what she said. She said, you lost the moral high ground centuries ago. Another wrong statement, but I'm going to keep on reading what she says. You are responsible for the existence of all that is evil in existence. Yeah, this got to be a woman. Another wrong statement. Now, why am I saying this got to be a woman? Listen to that last sentence. You are responsible for the existence of all that is evil in existence. Toni just put what other people do as a responsibility of the male gender. That's what Toni did. Remember, look at that first sentence, the male gender. So Toni said who she's talking about. Toni said who she's talking about. Okay. Now, what do we know about women in general? Women don't like to take responsibility for their own actions. Now, y'all hear this all the time because you hear people saying talking about women are not accountable. Tony said the male gender is responsible for the existence of all. See, this is not a general statement. Tony made it clear. All that is evil in existence. So Tony don't blame women for anything that they do that's evil. You see that? Tony's a sad person. I knew Tony was offended. As soon as I saw the first sentence, I just knew Tony wasn't. Yeah, I don't know, man. It could be a spiritual thing. Sometimes you can just feel a negative spirit trying to get out there into the world, trying to ruin you, trying to make you feel bad. There's spirits out there that want to bring you down. So it looks like Tony's carrying one. Okay. Well, look, Tony, it ain't the end of the world. Okay. At least you done found the channel. What if you want to learn to feel better about yourself, you should come here every day. And see, the thing is, if you don't fall into the categories that I'm talking about, okay, if you don't fall into the categories I'm talking about, you will be all right. Okay. Now, y'all, now this is what I'm gonna do, y'all. Real quick. Toni Morrison says, now I'm not gonna say all these words because this, y'all know how the channel thing would be or the system is, so I ain't gonna say all these words. So y'all gonna have to look at the screen for this particular one. Okay, we're not gonna say all these words. Okay. Now, women do the first thing, that R word. Women do that a whole lot. Okay. I was actually shocked when I found that women did this as much as they do. Okay, whole lot. Okay. The second one, women do that a whole lot as well. Okay. Matter of fact, we just keep on going down. Women do everything except what? Is there anything that women that's on this list that women don't do? Corruption, law enforcement, etc. No, women do everything on this list. I'm not gonna say all these words because I ain't gonna negatively trigger the system out here, y'all. But let's look at what she said. There's nothing on here that women don't participate in. Not one. Not one. I told you she was an offended person. Okay, not one thing on there that women don't participate in. Not one. And shout out to Kevin 3905. He said Toni is a divestor. No, she's not. Look, the chances of that is next to none. Y'all be throwing these terms around like they real. Divestors are black women who actually got with another man who's not black, married that man, and went off to be part of their community. What's the chances of some random chick who who named Toni actually accomplished that? So why do y'all just be throwing this stuff on women? I mean, my thing is no false narratives, y'all. So even in that, we're gonna say no false narratives. What's the chances that Toni did something like that? Next to none. Now, could it happen? Yeah. But if this ain't like throwing a rock toward a pond. If I throw a rock toward a pond and I'm somewhat close to the pond, more than likely I'm gonna hit that pond. To call some random chick a divestor is like throwing a rock at a small stick in the pond. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Okay. It's gonna be a little bit more difficult. Now, shout out to Kevin 3905. He said, Roger, that's divestor language. She just didn't use black. No. This is the thing, Kevin. This is the thing. Y'all say divestor, but who is the divestor? The woman who actually got married to a non-black man. Most divestors don't really exist like that. Y'all just be throwing that term on women. They're not divestors because they're not married. They're a bunch of unmarried. An unmarried woman is not a divestor. Think about it. Okay? Think about it. So y'all throw that term around a whole lot, and it just don't be true in just about every single case. Until you know they got a white husband, Ain't no point in calling them a divestor because most black women don't have one. That's just not something you can just throw out there and we gonna hit. Now I understand she might have a divestor spirit. You could say something like that, but what's the likelihood of a black woman showing up on my channel who is actually a divestor? What's the chances of that happening? It ain't likely. Let's just keep it real. It just ain't likely. Now, I would say there's a lot of women who show up who want to be divestors. You can say that. There's some women who will show up that want to be divestors, but who gonna marry them? That's the see. Let's not go into that black woman's world. But since you went there, let me go into that. Because there's a lot of black women who believe somebody's going to marry them. There's no reason for someone to marry them. They don't live a life that gives evidence that someone's going to marry them. A lot of them are old and upset. Okay. Now, my thing is, we don't know her personally and why she was offended immediately. But she upset about stuff. Just is what it is. And you know what? Unfortunately, there's a lot of women who aren't, they're just not happy. And we can see a lot of this stuff going on, even over just in social media. You can see a lot of this stuff going on that they're not happy. Why? Because they just ain't good enough for a husband. It just is what it is. There is no woman walking around who's good enough for a husband who has one, who doesn't have one. So as black men, we're going to have to accept that a lot of our women are going to be upset because they're losers. Now, I know Tony don't know what this means, and I'm not saying this is about you, Tony, but over here at the Roger Report Live, it's clearly defined. If you make it to your 30th birthday and you've never been married, you a loser. Now, I'm not saying Tony's a loser. Tony may not be a loser. Chances are high she is, but she may not, as an individual, be a loser. She probably is, though, because if you just throw a rock at a pond, you're probably gonna hit it. When you talk about black women being loose, you're probably gonna hit one. Just is what it is. So the thing is, she's upset, and y'all really should think about it too. Black women should be upset. If you was a part of that group of people, and you actually looked at who they are as a collective, there's stuff to be upset about. And I think one of the biggest issues that they have is that when black men talk about who they are, they get so upset because number one, they believe they above black men in the first place, which is silly, but they believe it. So they upset because they feel like somebody who shouldn't be talking about how horrible they are should never speak on them. And it's worse because they can't say it's not true. See, that's the issue a lot of them have. When you start talking about, like the gentleman said in that clip, okay? Like the gentleman said in that clip, people had this princess mentality, but they doing all this stuff princesses don't do. Now, I'm going to give them the respect of being older women and being adults, which would make them a queen if they could get married, okay? But we know black women don't seem to have the ability to get married. That's just how as a group of people, that's who they are. Okay, you'll see your black woman who get married every blue moon, but the vast majority of black women don't have the ability to get married. So they do have something to be angry about. Think about it. Okay, think about it. They do have something to be angry about. Most of them can't get married. Is what it is. Now they try to pretend they're happy by going around being fake and trying to act like there's things there that they're not there. Now this is what I'm gonna do. Tony, I'm gonna say watch yourself because I saw Chef Mike. He put some type of warning towards you, so be careful because they ain't gonna play with you. All right. Now what I will do, because I know you're new here, so you may not know. If you actually want to participate in the discussion, Tony, what you can do, there's a link in the description. Matter of fact, I'll put the link in the chat for you. Okay, I'll put the link in the chat for you. I don't even want you to have to go through the trouble of trying to find the link because I know that's a difficult thing for a lot of pissed off women. If you want to join the conversation, I'll let you join in a little bit. But, just relax for a while because you came here huffing and puffing and all that type of stuff, and ain't nobody did nothing to you. So we don't know why you mad at breakfast, because it's breakfast time for a lot of folks. We don't know why you mad at breakfast. Shout out to Cat Williams. You game banging on bacon? You game banging on bacon? Shout out to Cat Williams. Matter of fact, shout out to Mr. Shook too. He actually just put the link in the description. So if you want to participate in the discussion, you're welcome to do so. Okay. But what we're not going to do is have you throw off everything going on because you're just seeking attention. We're not going to do that. Now, I accept that there's a lot of angry Black women out there, and you're probably just another one. Now, I don't know. Maybe you'll do. Who knows? But I do accept that there's a lot of angry Black women on there. And I'm not calling you a female based on what you're saying. I'm calling you a female based on how your name is spelled. That's why I'm doing that, because I know about how people spell names, so that's what it is. But if you don't have to gang bang at breakfast, okay? All right. If you want to actually talk and get your opinions across, you can actually hit the link and join the discussion. We'll hit you out for a bit. We'll hit you out, okay? But see, this is the thing, y'all. You have stuff like this that go on because Black women do live in their own world, and the thing is, they want other people to be just as delusional as they are. Okay? They want other people to be just as delusional as they are. Now, they have issues. Okay? That should be seen by everybody. And of course, they don't want to seem like they have issues. But like the gentleman said, they don't really conduct themselves with this quote unquote princess mentality. Because in the real world, if y'all think about it, have you ever seen a princess's legs? Now, I'm not saying you haven't. If you've seen one anywhere on planet Earth, because they're not kings and queens in America. So if you're looking for a princess, you're gonna have to look somewhere else. But I never actually remember seeing a princess's legs. But when Black women go to a club, a lot of them will show up with either mini skirts on, or they're going to show up with some type of stretch pants, yoga pants, whatever they call them pants, basically skin tight or whatever. They're going to show off everything. So they want princess treatment, but they don't want to carry themselves with any of the regalness of a princess. Ain't that about something? Okay, very interesting dynamic there. They want to be treated like a princess, but refuse to do anything that would even seem royal. Okay. Why do you want to call yourself a princess? And I'm gonna give them more credit and even say queens, because a lot of them are adults, even though you can technically be a princess and be an adult at the same time. But they don't want to carry themselves like royalty. But they want people to think of them with these royal terms, and there's so many women on the internet now calling themselves queen this and queen that or whatever. I mean, I can at least say Queen Latifah back in the day, she at least tried to carry herself. At least back in the day, she did. She tried to carry herself with some type of I'm not gonna say she was being regal, but I mean, she did carry herself in a very respectful way. You didn't have a problem respecting Queen Latifah. She didn't have to ask for respect. Think about it, y'all. When Queen Latifah was out there rapping, she never had to ask for respect. It was just given. Okay? It was just given. People respected her. She carried herself in a very good way, positive way. Men just liked it. Okay? When you carry yourself as a queen instead of just only calling yourself as a queen, men don't seem to have too much of a problem with you. Okay? I did a previous show. I remember a clip from MC Light, and she was talking about she was at some club. They was playing some record with too much cursing in it for her taste, called the women bees and whatnot. She said she just talked to the DJ. And because of how that was MC Light. Because of how MC Light is, The man just say, okay, no problem. Change the record for her. It's easy. See, when you carry yourself as a beautiful queen, instead of only calling yourself a beautiful queen, black men just start doing all kinds of stuff to make you feel better. But for some reason, black women don't want to carry themselves as queens while calling themselves queens. It's the most amazing thing when you think about it, y'all. A group of women who call themselves queens so much want to carry themselves as anything but a queen. I'm not saying they got to put on jewelry and go outside, even though technically they do wear jewelry a lot. I'm not saying they got to try to wear some type of royal looking outfit, but it's like they don't even try to just go outside and look respectful. Okay? I always talk about queen this and queen that, be looking like straight up hoes, straight up prostitutes, and be saying I'm queen this, I'm queen that. Y'all think about social media where you name yourself. A lot of people do not use their name on social media. You name yourself something. It's so many black women who got something to do with royalty in their name. I'm princess this, I'm queen this, I'm queen. Be looking like straight hoes off the block. Okay. Like, don't even make any attempt. And they think it's cool. That's what I'm saying, y'all. They live in their own world. You can't convince them to even attempt to act royal. Okay? I'm not saying they would know exactly how to be royal. I mean, we live in America. We ain't got no kings and queens over here like that. But they don't even make an attempt. All right? We got a woman. Yeah, I mean, Tony, I'm not picking on you. I'm just using you because you showed up. You showed up angry, start spewing all this negative stuff. You got this bad attitude. It's early in the morning. People still having breakfast out here. Yeah, it's some folks at work, but you mad at breakfast. Nobody knew who you was. You didn't even try to make a good impression on anybody. Just came in spewing stuff because you angry. And my thing is, I get it, because some of the stuff I say is going to actually be something going on in the person's life, or they looking at their sister and I'm describing a sister. Now, I don't know I'm describing a sister. I'm just describing black women in general, but I don't know who everybody belongs to. So yeah, I might be describing them. Then I might be describing a sister. Sometimes I'm describing a mamas. Sometimes I'm describing they Auntie Jackie. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm talking about Auntie Claire. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case is, it don't be personal. I just be talking about black women. It don't be personal, man. It don't be I don't even know your people. And I don't know what you was doing personally. I don't. I'm just talking about how black women generally are. But folks start getting mad and upset like it's my fault that black women carry themselves the way they carry themselves. And see, you can tell they live in their own world, because when you say something about it, they act like somebody accosted them, like somebody did something to them. You show up angry. We just simply point out the fact that you showed up angry, and you act like something wrong with that. Okay. Technically, I don't know who she was talking to per se, but I seen her even in the chat saying something like, "Oh, I haven't disrespected you," or something like that. I didn't accuse her of disrespecting anybody. I'm just noticed what she did. Now, let's keep it real. Was it disrespectful? Yeah, it's kind of disrespectful just to come in so angry and not know what's going on at the end of the day. Okay, but if you can't point out where somebody's wrong, I mean, relax a little bit. Just relax. Now, that gentleman, though, he said what he said, and all I can say is he was right. And all I can say is shout out to Mr. Suge, to you for, bringing that clip to my attention before the show started. Real talk, y'all. Real talk. Now, there's another clip on there where you got B. Simone. Okay, she was talking to, her friend, whatever her name is. I don't actually care about her name, but you know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to assume that was the same person who was totally disrespecting Martin Luther King Jr. with B. Simone, because I'm pretty sure it's the same two chicks. Okay, so some very vile individuals in a lot of ways. Okay, it is what it is. All right. Now, I heard her say these silly things that she was saying about it could be an issue to be friends with a celebrity because people look at you and they think you got this and they think you got that and they think you can do this or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, people makes all types of assumptions about all kinds of people. What is the big deal? Now, she was saying that, basically B. Simone got it when she don't got it. And I've been through all this stuff and I had to go move back in with my parents. I'm a single mother. She said whatever her complaints were, and it's all happened to me within a year. Like, shawty, what's wrong with you? Like, ain't you been grown for a good while? you know, truth be told, she was out there dry begging. Okay, that's what she was doing. She was out there dry begging. Okay, I'm going through this stuff, and people looking at me like I should have it because I'm friends with B. Simone. Hey, that's an interesting concept. That's interesting. That's all I'm gonna say. That's very interesting to me. Cause why I will never feel like I gotta take care of random men. I'm gonna tell y'all, if I hit the lotto, there's certain buddies of mine who good. Okay, they gonna be good. If I hit the lotto, they good. Why? Cause they my friends. Now, am I gonna throw all my money away on them because they my friends? No. But I'm still gonna have friends. Cause if I hit the lotto, I already made friends. I'm not finna go make a bunch of new friends. I already got plans. Okay, I got plans of how we gonna get together, we gonna work, and we gonna earn some money together as a team. We just, what I'm saying, we gonna get rid of some jobs they have, and we gonna work together. We still gonna make some money, but I want to be able to kick it with my friends. Okay, if I go on some trips, I want to go on trips with my friends. All right. I don't need a bunch of new folks. I'm not saying I won't make friends with some new people, but there's certain people that they plug at this point. The same thing will happen with them if they want. I'm plugged with them. Okay. So when I sat there listening to the young lady dry bed, because that's what it sounded like to me. Now it's just a clip. Okay. But it sure sounded like dry begging to me. And I think about friendship. Would I be rich and my friends have to say stuff like that? I mean, if you're not really rich, I get it. Maybe B. Simone broke for real. Like on the level of rich people, maybe she broke for rich people or something. Because it would make sense if she's broke for rich people. You know what I'm saying? Like if you got only around $1 million for rich people, you kind of broke. Let's you know, maybe B. Simone still broke for a rich person. Okay. But if I'm rich, my closest friends ain't struggling. Now I'm gonna say that. My closest friends ain't struggling. Not if I'm rich. Okay. Now I understand you can't be barely holding on to being rich and give too much out because that ain't gonna work. But it's hard for me to understand that conversation because I'm sitting there thinking like, man, if I'm worth a few $1,000,000, it's tough for me to hear that my close friends is struggling. Well, see, this is my thing. Like, I'm close enough to my friends that I don't think my friend would struggle like that and be uncomfortable saying something to me about it. You know what I'm saying? I got some real friends, y'all. I got some real friends where if I got a problem, they got a problem. Okay, if they got a problem, I got a problem. We gonna look out for each other. We ain't gonna go crazy and overdo it, but we are gonna look out for each other. So when she said that, I just had to think like, man, in what world do you just I mean, if your homie, if you that bad off, so you ain't gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna do nothing. But then I gotta also think about the fact this is black women, and this is black women in their world. If you got a rich friend, why ain't you talking about helping your rich friend make some money? Hey, rich friend, what can I do to make some money? Because I'm out here struggling. I ain't trying to beg, but I'm trying to get it. Are you in position to help me get it? Because now if you're not in position to help me get it, I totally understand. If you're not in position to help me get it, I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping. But when she said, well, I'm seeing her giving this away to people, and she giving that out to people and whatnot, and it's hard for me not to feel some level of resentment because I see you with it, and then you giving it away. I don't know what kind of friendship they got. Because if my friend got it like that he can give it away, and I'm over here struggling for real. Now, number one, I'm not going to be doing silly stuff to put myself in extra struggle, because now she says she's a single mother now. So, I mean, come on now. You don't need to be rescued from that. That's you just doing stuff that you don't need to do. Nobody forces you to become a single mother, y'all. We're not in the 1500s. I don't know why women say this stuff like they're being forced to be single mother. We're not in the 1500s. In the 1500s, I could understand somebody claiming that they are somehow forced to be in a position to be a single mother. I can get how they could come up with something like that and make it make some kind of sense. But in 2025, okay, and I don't know when she had this baby. Let's say she had it within the last 5 years. So anywhere between 2020 to 2025, and you talking like I'm in a single mother, like it came out of nowhere. Shorty, what's wrong with you? Now, real talk, if B. Simone is the one that's rich and she see you doing silly stuff, and maybe she decided I'm not gonna help you because you're doing silly stuff. Now I can't even see what B. Simone got a problem at. That makes sense to me. If I got a friend who all of a sudden start going to jail because I got rich, I ain't worried about it. He gonna bail me out. I can understand bailing you out, not understanding what's going on. But if you gonna say, well, I'm gonna start going to jail every weekend because Roger got it, what you gonna do is find yourself in jail with a lot of charges, because Roger ain't gonna keep giving it. That's real talk. Okay. That's real talk. Okay. Now shout out to Kevin 3905. He said B. Simone is an avatar for black women that overestimates their value in the dating market and the correlating results. Well, that is true. I didn't think you were going there, but you are correct. Can't say you're wrong. And I'm gonna say her friend is an avatar of people trying to count your pockets, which they really shouldn't be doing. And my thing is, are y'all real friends? Are y'all real friends? Cause y'all, I mean, if you got a real close friend, a friend that quote unquote stick closer than a brother. Yeah, I can't see my closest friends. I can't see them having it, and I'm really messed up. Now, I wouldn't mess myself up over some silly stuff and then go to my friend or be looking at them like, man, they got it. Why won't they help me out? Now, I'm not going to do that if I'm doing silly stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, quote unquote, going to get some random woman pregnant that I'm not married to, and I'm not going to ask my friend to help me with the child support. I'm not going to do that. So I don't quite get where the other young lady was coming from. It's just an odd conversation to me, man. It was extremely odd conversation to me, but it's the world that the women live in, man. It's crazy. It's nuts to me, because you're looking at B. Simone like she got it and she just didn't do for you, but then you throwing out some other stuff, and then you throw out I became a single mother like that was a cool thing to do. I mean, why would you do that to your, if you ain't got it like that? And I'm only saying that because she said she ended up back at her parents' house. If a baby gonna put you back in your parents' house, I think you're making some bad choices. That's what I believe, y'all. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I really doubt that I am. I really doubt that I am. If having a small child can make you have to go back to your parents' house, you making some poor life decisions. Now, your friend ain't supposed to bail you out of poor life decision. Maybe your friend can talk to you and encourage you and pat you on the back and say, hey, let me advise you on how to get past some of these poor life decisions you're making. But I'm not going to financially bail you out because you're making poor life decisions. So that conversation was so odd to me. But hey, this is Black women's world. Okay? It's Black women's world. It ain't my world. It's Black women's world. You know? So it was just a crazy conversation to me, y'all. An absolutely insane conversation to me. All right? Because I don't get it. Because I bet you, y'all, my close friends, if I got it like that, they're not struggling. Okay? Real talk. Okay? I got plans for mine. Okay? I got plans for my close friends ain't finna struggle like that, and I got it like that's not gonna happen. We're gonna figure out some plan. I'm not gonna quote unquote just take care of them, but we gonna figure out some plan where we gonna work together and we gonna bring some more money in. But ain't nobody finna be struggling if we got it like that. If any of us got it between us, y'all, ain't none of us struggling. You know, I got a small group of close friends that if any one of us got it, I know all of us good. It's just real talk. Now, we gonna work together and still make more money happen? Absolutely. But come on, man. And you know what? We men. So if we barely holding on, whereas if one of us gets some chick pregnant and we got to go back to our parents' house, you know what we gonna say? We gonna be like, man, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? We're not just gonna let that blow past like it was nothing. Like, bro, you going back to your mama house because you got some chick pregnant. You going back to your parents' house because you got some chick pregnant. You going back to your daddy house because you got some chick pregnant. That's single mother home, single father home, or a 2-parent home. Whatever the case is, y'all. I'm covering it all. If you got to go back home because you got some chick pregnant, man, we gonna have to. We're going to take you out back and have a serious talk with you. You know what I'm saying? You know, because we friends, man. We're going to have to take you out back and have a serious talk with you, bro. A physical talk, maybe even be necessary on this one. You know, I can't really see this one, y'all. I can't really see. Now, shout out to Mr. Sugar to you. He say, Roger, I'm literally wearing the shirt my mother-in-law bought me right now. I may be wrong, but I doubt it. Well, you know what? Mr. Sugar, the way she told that story, I don't think she got a mother-in-law. I'm just I don't think she got a mother-in-law. The way she was telling that story, okay? Oh, Lord have mercy, y'all. Black women's world is an amazing world where you could just talk about stuff that just don't seem to make sense together. I mean, did a baby send you back to your parents' house? The baby did that. It wasn't the other stuff that was going on, y'all. It wasn't the other stuff that was going on. It wasn't maybe she didn't pay the credit card bills. Or it wasn't the fact she didn't pay rent like she's supposed to. You know, it wasn't none of that stuff. It was the baby, y'all. The small child. Now, I don't know how old the baby is, but it was the baby's formula, I guess, that just broke the bank. Well, yeah, I got to give up this nice place because I got to get my kid formula. I just can't take it no more. These baby socks are so expensive. I don't know what to do no more. Okay. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. Now, that last clip, y'all. Okay, that last clip. All right. Okay, matter of fact, yeah, the last clip is the one Mr. Shoots you notified me of, just so I can make that clip, because I think I might have said something wrong earlier. But the last clip, man, that last clip. Now, I thought about that clip, y'all. I thought about that last clip that Mr. Shoots you brought to my attention, y'all. I thought about this clip. Let me tell you why I thought about this clip. Because I know people be making fake content out there, y'all. Okay? People be making fake content. I started recognizing faces, people doing these things to try to quote unquote go viral or have this viral moment. And I started recognizing faces. So you was in this one, but you also in that one. Okay. I got to pause for a moment on that one and say shout out to Trail Billy, man. He say the baby got a car repossessed. Oh man, the baby got a car repossessed. Y'all know how it is when babies come along. Baby will get you messed up. and then they mess around and park the car right out front. They put you in position to get your car repossessed, and then they park it right out front of the house. They don't even make the repo man work for it. We gonna put it right outside. We gonna put this baby right outside. Oh, and you sitting there like, man, we had a garage. Why you just didn't park it in the garage? Nah, moms. I want to show off my whip. I want it right out front of the house. Even though I'm a baby, I need the whip right in front of the house. Shout out to Trail, man. All right, y'all. Matter of fact, let me say this right now, y'all. Let me get this out the way too. Yesterday, I got a little too engulfed in the conversation, as if that can happen. But I did get a little too engulfed, right? Because I got some cash apps, and I did not mention the cash apps on air yesterday, and I do apologize for that, y'all. I got a little too gone in the conversation, so I'm sorry I did not recognize the cash app yesterday. I apologize about this. I'm gonna try to be much, much better about that, y'all, and make sure I say it when y'all send it. Real talk, because I do appreciate it, y'all. I definitely appreciate it. Okay, so let me let me say shout out to FLX. Now this is from this morning, y'all. This from this morning, and y'all gonna see this is obviously from this morning. And then I'm gonna get the ones from yesterday because I gotta respect it. I gotta respect it, y'all. But shout out to FLX. He said, "Tell Tony go read Planned Parenthood sign-in sheet." You know what? FLX, that's some great advice. That is some great advice. Because Tony don't seem to know what's going on out here in these streets. Okay? She don't need seem to know what's going on in the street. She blaming all evil on men. Okay? All evil on men. That's a crazy thing to say, y'all. You know why it's crazy to me? Because you don't go too far in the Bible. And I know everybody ain't a Bible believer. But you ain't got to go that far in the Bible to find some evil happening. And it wasn't just a man, okay? You ain't got to go too far in it, okay? All you got to do is get to chapter 3. When evil started amongst humans, okay, women was right there. But Tony say all evil. is about the men. All of it, y'all. So when a woman go out there hoeing around, somehow that's a man's fault that she chose to be a hoe. It's the customer fault that she a hoe. Ain't that about nothing, y'all? So the prostitute out there doing her thing, and now it's the customer's fault that she's in business of prostitute. It's the customer's fault. That's crazy work, y'all. That's crazy work. Okay, now shout out to my main man Trail Bentley. Okay, because he did get that cash app yesterday with that word I had to be told about. So I'm just say shout out to you again since I'm looking at the ones from yesterday. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, Trail Billy, big time. Shout out to No Placeholder who actually came through with two two cash apps. He says I'm doing just fine without daddy government. That's gonna work for today too, y'all. Now he said he doing just fine without daddy government, but this is a man. This is a man, y'all. Man say he doing just fine without daddy government. Shout out to shout out to him again because he said Gold P wrench tax. Laugh out loud. If y'all was over here yesterday, y'all see Gold P. He stuck me up, y'all, yesterday. He's such a good supporter. I had to let him do it. He is a strong supporter, so I had to let him do it. But he stuck me up on there yesterday, y'all. He got me. I had to let him do it. Okay. And Gold P did also say, I'm being petty. On the $7 cash app, he said, I'm being petty. I thought I was your partner, Roger. Well, he proved that he's still my partner, y'all. He proved that he's still my partner, but he got me yesterday. But it's cool, though. I am not tripping. I am not tripping. And shout out to Trey Bentley, who just came in with another 557 today. And thank you for the Trey Bentley tax. He says, broke friends for broken bees, y'all. Y'all know what bees he talking about. Now, I got H Rebels actually coming up, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and get him the mic real quick and let him get his thoughts out, and I'm gonna get back into this, y'all. But black women do live in this different world that they show all types of evidence of. They show it all the time. Now, I'm gonna say shout out to Tony for showing that black women live in this different world, because you came right in today, kind of proving that point. Okay, that you live in this different world. You named all this stuff that are negative things, but black women participate in. And you said it, and you said all evil come from men. Now you did say men in general, well, you actually said males. So I got what you was trying to do. I do get what you was trying to do. Okay. And I get that you was trying to get me upset and other people here upset. And you said all this stuff that women participate in. It's amazing. But I get it. You from a different world. You from a different world. But let me get a flow to H Rebels. You got it, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, hello to you, Roger. Good morning to you as the host. Shout out to the panel or to folks who are listening, if anybody else is on the panel. But check this out. So as it relates to the topic about women living in a different world, specifically black women, yeah, it points to, delusion. Okay. And then the other thing, too, is cognitive dissonance, right? Just a working definition of cognitive dissonance is essentially you have to come up with these coping mechanisms in your own mind to distort what actually is in front of you. Meaning that if something bad is happening, or if you don't want to admit to something, then you come up with reasons and you come up with reasons, rationalizations, and coping mechanisms in order to justify why you behave in a certain way, especially if it's negative. So that's a short or working summary of a cognitive dissonance. You kind of lying to yourself. So that, again, it all points back to delusion, right? That being said, a few interesting videos. One, in the sense that, the dude kind of, it was fun. When he started talking, I actually started laughing like the rest of the dudes on the video, because he was like, look, y'all sitting here talking about princess treatment, but you're not behaving as a princess. You're not, showing up in a way that's elegant, exquisite, behaving in a way that's, appropriate for somebody who's demanding, not even asking for it, right? but demanding, you treat me like a princess. Like, okay, you'll get that as long as you show up that way. But if you show up argumentative, combative, contrarian, and then, and then on top of that, you're saying, hey, you better treat me well. Like, you're going to get essentially the treatment that you're giving out. That's the problem. Again, that goes to cognitive dissonance and the delusion that, women who live under. The other thing too is, some women have this tendency to overestimate their value or their intrinsic value. Look, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be proud of yourself. You shouldn't value yourself and have self-esteem. The problem comes in is when you overestimate that, and then you behave in a way that you believe justifies, negative behavior, and people are still supposed to treat you in a way that's respectful, or you feel you're deserving of princess treatment, when again, that's not the way you're acting. And then as it relates to, that whole, I agree with you. There was some dry begging going on. And it's very interesting that she talked about all the bad things that this woman was going through, that her friend was going through, that this friend of the friend was going through, right? She did it on her show, on the podcast, instead of, doing it privately and saying, hey, look, I'm going through this. Can you help me out? If she needed help and she wanted help from her friend, she should have just asked that. Because it looked like she was kind of disappointed in the sense that, hey, look, you're my best friend. You know what it is I'm going through. I got this kid. I'm losing my car. I can't pay my bills. Are we close friends or not? And if we're super close as I thought we were, then I really shouldn't have to ask you. That's how it was coming off. And in a lot of ways, it looked as if she was offended. And she was just kind of, hey, I'm putting your business out here so people know what kind of quote unquote friends you are. Because would you really do that and put your friend on blast like that? Would you?
I mean, if I'm being real, bro, if I got it like that and my friend is in a situation like that, ain't no way my friend don't feel comfortable enough to come ask me.
Yeah, and just
I don't even know they friends, man. It sounds crazy. It sounds insane. I don't even know that they friends like that.
Yeah.
I can't make sense of that, man.
Yeah, she might not have it like that. They might not have the friendship that she thinks they have. Because again, if you're going to generally know, personally speaking, especially if you're a best friend, best friends talk all the time, as I understand it. I'm not going to say I have I'll just say my wife's probably my best friend, right? So we talk all the time, we communicate, so we know what's going on. And if something's bothering you, then I'm going to know it, right? And trust me, my wife don't have me. She's a good woman, but she don't have no problem letting me know that something's bothering her. So again, friends communicate. And then if she wants me to help, I help. But if she wants me to leave it alone, I'll leave it alone.
Well, I would say even when it comes to communication, like there's people I would consider, my best friends. Like it's a group of them. Now, we don't talk every single day. We all be busy doing stuff.
Yeah.
But I would kind of be offended if my friend know I got it like that and he in trouble in some kind of way. Now, I'm not saying frivolous trouble, like going to get yourself pregnant and then got to move back in your mama's house. I don't know how the baby broke the budget like that you got to move back in with your parents, but I'm going to let her have that one somewhat until I want to make fun of it. So, but I don't know how the baby broke the bank like that. But I'm thinking if my friend was in that kind of trouble because we're actual friends, they just say something.
Yeah, especially if it's not a self-created situation, a self-created problem. Again, being a baby, look, I don't like to say baby mama. I said, just having a baby out of wedlock, that's a problem you created that you shouldn't have had, that you could have simply avoided by being married. And then now you have a husband to help you out whenever you're going through stuff like this, right? You have a husband, you have your family, and then because you're married, you're actually going to get support from other family members. I'm not gonna say it's automatic, but generally there's a respect that goes along with that. But if you're just out here making babies with, dudes who ain't no damn good, and then now you get into a financial situation, we're looking at you like, why'd you, people are looking at you with a side eye. And the last thing, that last video, and look, I know that people do stuff for clicks now. I know there's people have artificial intelligence and all this other stuff, and I don't think that's artificial intelligence, that last one, right? But you have this woman talking about, look, if you get a job, I'm going to lose my benefits. I don't even know what.
Hold on for that. Hold on with that one, because I ain't even touched that one yet. So just let's hold off on that one real quick, just for the moment, okay?
Okay.
Because we're gonna get into that one somewhat heavy. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say this, y'all. When it comes to the I had a baby thing, now if B Simone is giving her the side eye like I'm not gonna help her because she had no baby, I would actually be okay with that because that's self-inflicted. Okay, so if it was things going on other than you just going out getting pregnant by dudes that don't care nothing about you, if it's things other than that going on, if my friend don't tell me, and if my friend is struggling, like my friend lost a job, say that my friend's
Yeah.
working, he lost a job, and I got it like that. If my friend didn't come tell me, I'd be looking at him. He a fool when he found what I found out. Like, bro, why didn't you say nothing? But man, I ain't gonna come to you and be asking or begging you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna sing like no punk or what. Like, I'm not finna hear that from my friend is my friend. We friends because we friends. It ain't about money. It's we just friends. Like my close friends, if I got it like that, there ain't nowhere in the world they gonna struggle.
Yeah, you give them a
It's
few
just not
months to
gonna
kind
happen.
of give them a few months to get it together. It might take 6 to 8 months, but and so the other thing too is this is where people take advantage of friends, by the way. Like, say you are going through something, you did lose your job. It's there's an economic downturn. You're the first one, you were the last one hired, first one to get fired. You got an economic downturn, and it was already, the job market was already tight, and now you got to find other work. So say you do have to stay with a friend for a little bit. Here's the thing. You minimize your presence. You don't interfere with their personal life as you do that as little as possible. And then on top of that, you help out. So that way you're making yourself useful. You don't become a burden, right? And then on top of that, because that's the one thing I notice with people. They'll get up all up in they'll get up in your house, because they're having issues and problems, but then they start, eating up all the sandwiches and drinking all the Kool-Aid, right? And then they sitting there watching TV instead of looking for a job. They're playing the Xbox, and you're like, "Hey, man, I thought you were in trouble." Yeah, but but instead of being constructive, yeah, you can play your Xbox when I invite you to play. But if that's what you're doing all day while you were supposed to be out looking for a job or on the internet looking for work or putting in an application, if you might have might have to submit 200 applications. But if I walk in and you playing the Xbox, now you're taking advantage. See. So, and I would expect my friends to understand it, and I shouldn't have to explain that to them because, we cool like that. So
Exactly.
that would be the issue there. And most men get that, and we're going to, and it's not so much it's not so much shame if it's not your fault, but there's a bit of pride associated with, okay, I need help a little help, but you know what? This is a bridge until I get to, but my pride won't allow me to hang on to this too long and be a burden to someone else. So we're fine with that. Men understand that. I don't know, and it's almost like we don't even have to have that discussion, right? But if you got a friend that's going to take advantage, you probably won't invite that dude up in your house, Jerome. But anyway, now let me come up with a fictitious name, Ray.
Real quick. Shout out to Trip Billy. He said, "Man, they tripping about these jobs. I just need to get
Yeah.
my mind right, dog."
Yeah.
Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to Trail Billy, man. Now I do
Roger.
got okay, now his signal finally cleared up. I was
Okay.
gonna say your signal wasn't strong enough for me to bring you up, but I'm gonna bring up my main man, Champ Con for life, y'all. Champ Con, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the mic real quick. I was finna say something, but I'm gonna hold off. And you could touch on the first two videos. We're gonna hold off on the third one. Okay, we're gonna hold off on that third one, but you could touch on the first two videos if you like, or say whatever opening statement you want to say. Okay, but why Trey Bentley does that, I'm gonna go get my mind right because they out here tripping out these jobs, y'all.
Well, brothers, happy Friday. We all need a little bit of comedy and everything else. My avatar for today is in tribute to the late Walter Scott, lead singer of the Whispers, who passed away suddenly last night at the age of 91. Yeah, man, I'm deeply sad about that because I used to watch him in concert, and I saw him in concert last year around this time when they were on tour with the late Frankie Beverly and Maze in his final performance, which happened to be in St. Louis. So RIP to Walter Scott. You're going to be missed. Had some great songs back in the 1970s and 80s with the Whispers. But anyway, whew. Well,
Matter of fact, let me do this real quick. Before you get right into it. Because I do appreciate you. I got love for you at the end of the day. Got nothing but love for you. But let me make sure that T Mac is a hater. Can you speak just just so I know it's you?
It's me. It's me.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure because I don't know why you got T Mac as a hater, but all
Okay.
right, go ahead, champ, because you was here before he got here. If he would have got here second, if he would have got here before you started, I would have let him go. But go ahead, brother.
Okay, let me go ahead and say this. The reality is finally hitting on these 304 wannabe ladies and everything else. And B Simone, you sitting up there crying and moaning over the fact that you can't go shop at Bloomingdale's and everything. Hell, shoot, Bloomingdale's is about to go bankrupt pretty soon and everything. A couple years ago, you were sitting up there saying that I'm not going to be with a man who works 9 to 5 and everything else. And it's the cult. It's a lot of these black women, live in a very different universe than many of us black men and everything. Not all, but virtually most of them and everything else. And that's why, a lot of these sisters, have a hard time keeping a man in the house, even when they try to divest, find himself a white man that doesn't hardly work anymore. So, B Simone, my advice is either humble yourself, start working, do something, go do some trade, go to a trade school, learn how to do graphic design work and everything else, or just continue on crying, moaning, talking about I gotta go. Next thing you know, I gotta go shop at Sam's Club, and then I don't want to do that. Continue on doing that because no man's going to save you. You're not worth saving at all. And this goes out to some of y'all sisters and everything else who sit up there living on government assistance and everything else. Kamala Harris was supposed to be your
savior. Champ, we leaving that third video alone for right now. We ain't saying nothing about it. We leaving that one alone.
I didn't realize I touched third video. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, yeah,
I'll my plane right there.
Yeah,
about B Simone and all these sisters that listen to her a lot.
All right. Well, let me get if you land in your plane there, let's give it to because I'm curious about this one. I don't know what happened, but T Mac is a hater. You got the floor. I just wonder how this name is inspired. But so T Mac must have said something that just rubbed you the wrong way. I don't know. But go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, shout out to the people you thought was your friends, but found out they weren't SHIT. And to the first woman who was like, "Oh, you have famous friends, people think you live the same life, but I'm on Section 8 and I'm on this and that, and I see my friends helping this person, that person, it didn't help me while I'm struggling." Newsflash, baby. She knew you weren't you. She knew you wasn't ish. Just like T-Mac. T-Mac up here talking about if you replace me with Kobe, I would have 3 rings. The goal of that motherfucker. Excuse my language. Right? The lion and the witch and the nerve of that bitch. Bro, hey, so anyway, shout out. And that's why Kobe never messed with you like that, right? And that's why rich friends have friends they know and they don't really mess with them like that because they know deep down inside you ain't shit. Right? And so that's why. So, baby, if you want to know the riddle to the question, how was she helping everybody but you? Is because she knew deep down inside you ain't shit. I'm passing on that.
Oh, shout out to you for that. But I'm just gonna, and we ain't gonna turn into a basketball discussion. But I am gonna say T-Mac got a point. If it's T-Mac and Shaq, they can get those first 3 probably. Now he didn't say he could get more without Shaq, but he did. Basically, what he's saying is I could have got 3 with Shaq. That's not such a terrible statement.
This nigga didn't make it out the first round of playoffs ever. But my point is this: this is why the famous people, right, keep niggas at arm's length for this reason. Blasphemy. This is why that woman rich friend ain't never help her.
Are you done? I thought you said you were done.
Yeah, he said he was. I was just going to say, go ahead.
You done my turn because you was talking too much cash money shit about T-Mac. And watch your mouth because you're wrong for that. Real wrong. Because number one, him and Kobe did fuck with each other. Oh, but you failed to mention that shit. They was cooler than fans. Yes, they
T-Mac
was.
knees were weaker than a Tijuana whore.
Man, your time is over with. I'm talking now. Your time is over with. I shut the fuck up while you was talking. Do the thing, please. Respectful. Respectful.
Okay, go ahead, man. Go ahead. You got it.
Almighty, all esteemed, Ivy Leaguer. We gave you your props. You done. My turn. Cause you wrong. You just dirty wrong. That's called dirty macking. You know, and come to think of it, ain't you a swim champ? Oh yeah, my bad. That's your only sport. Why you always talking about other people's sports? Stick to your sport. You don't hear nobody talking about women. Huh? If we want to talk about women, we'll talk about Greg Louganis. He's better than you. We'll talk about that other white boy, that tall white boy who had smoked weed. He better
All
than
right,
you.
AL.
But you
All
don't
right.
want to do it. No. He's
Michael Phelps.
disrespectful. He's disrespectful today. He comes up. The comedian comes up every morning being disrespectful.
Oh, you
How
know
you
what,
gonna be an
motherfucker?
Ivy
You got it.
Leaguer
You got
and
the
be
smoke
so
now,
goddamn
motherfucker. You got the
disrespectful?
smoke. You
How the
got it.
fuck you gonna be an
Because I
Ivy Leaguer
was
and
letting
be
you
so
live,
goddamn
motherfucker.
disrespectful?
I was letting you
Motherfucker, why
live.
you
But
talk?
you know what?
It's
You
my
got it
turn.
now.
You already
Go ahead.
talk.
Go ahead,
Shut the fuck
Mo.
AL,
up.
Go
but
Shut
ahead.
the
you
fuck
making
up,
it
Lindsay. Shut the fuck
personal,
up,
man. You
Lindsay. I'm
making it
talking.
personal.
Shut
We're
the
not
fuck
gonna
up,
turn into
Lindsay.
a
I'm talking.
basketball
Shut
conversation
up.
anyway.
He did that. He always does it. But fuck him and feed him fish. That's what I say. Cause he's full of
Okay,
shit.
okay.
All
You
right,
know what? You
AL,
He's
know
let's
full
what?
of
get
shit.
on with the
You
subject
know
of the
what?
show, man. Let's get on to the subject of the show.
Now,
You know what, motherfucker? You
he's
got
bad
it.
as bad as B. Simone. He's bad as B. Simone. As far as I'm concerned, he's pulling that type of shit. You're a goddamn grown ass man. Why you doing effeminate type shit? That's effeminate type talk, bro. You too grown for that. You too grown for that. And
Hey,
you need to
let's
tell that
leave the
shit
Kobe
down, man.
thing and
So
T-Mac thing alone,
you,
man. It's not that serious. Let's leave that
hey,
alone. We can talk about
he
that
started.
backstage.
Hey, he started. He touched the nerve. It is what it is, Roger. No, he don't get off that easy. And then he come up here flamboyantly doing it like he knew. And I'm sitting back there just quiet as kept. Quiet as kept.
Oh,
Dude,
okay. My bad. I know what this is. T-Mac did play for Houston.
he goddamn did. And on top of that, he did go to the finals. He might not have won one, but he been the one. So for you to open up your mouth like that, homeboy, when your only sport is Ivy League and swimming, cut the shit, bro. Cut the shit. You ain't played a real
Oh,
athletic sport. You know
I
you did. So
yeah,
cut
I
the shit.
get it. I get it. It's about y'all. That's the people
He,
who represented y'all on the
he
sports side.
ain't
I
slick,
get it.
Roger. Chameleon ain't slick. He is not slick. He gonna miss me with that bullshit he's always stressing.
Okay.
If it's not MJ, he's on. It's LeBron's ass. He's on. If it's
Uh,
not LeBron, it's T-Mac. Man, miss me, dude. Matter of fact, if you ain't talking about females and what you do best, whining and crying about them, dude, leave these goddamn grown ass men who play sports alone that you never got to that height and reach. Because I know
Okay. All right.
my style
Come on. We gonna leave the sport thing alone, y'all. That's not what the subject of the show is anyway. I
I
get
would
it.
like
I
to.
get
I
it.
would like to reply. I would
Quit
like to reply
disrespecting
when
with
he's done.
grown ass professional men who earned they keep, whose pocketbook is 5 times greater than his, and he knows it. But he always got something slick to say about somebody who could
I
fit
get
and take
it, AL,
it.
because I remember T Mac play. He was one of your guys down there in Texas. I
Watch
get
your
it, but
mouth,
come on,
bro.
bro.
From here on out, watch
That's
your mouth. Watch your
I,
mouth. That's all
I
I'm gonna tell you. And
understand,
I
AL.
digress.
I
Watch your mouth.
understand, but we can't let it get too out of hand, man. You got to calm that down. You got to calm it down. I get it.
But he go home like this all the time, and
Oh,
don't nobody
okay,
say nothing. I'm checking
AL. No,
him.
you've been doing this. Been about good 4 minutes now. We got to cool it. We got to cool it and move on with the show. We got to cool it and move on. I
I
get it. T
already said
Mac
I digress,
represented.
right? You got it. I digress. He just failed for that. He's totally failed.
All right, so I'm gonna say this really
Monkey
quickly.
boy, shut up, monkey boy. For real. Did nobody
You
ask you? Is that I digress and let Roger start talking, not you. You're not finna keep with Buddy right now. You gonna hush it up. For real. You gonna hush it up. Hushing up. Who the fuck you calling boy? Who the fuck you calling boy when I'm fucking
Hey man,
51-year-old
hey, come on
grown
now.
man? Watch
We
your mouth, boy.
we can't
Watch
we
your
can't.
mouth, boy.
Hey, let's not
Watch
let
your mouth,
personal
Hey,
boy.
guys.
things.
Hey,
Watch
yeah.
your
Let's
mouth,
not.
immigrant
Hey,
boy.
Fuck
Watch
this
your
dude.
mouth, immigrant
Fuck
boy.
this dude.
Yeah, you don't like
Fuck
that, huh,
you.
immigrant boy? Shut
Fuck
up,
the whole
immigrant boy.
Hey,
game.
Watch your
Mike.
mouth,
And
immigrant boy.
fuck
Watch your
Texas.
mouth, immigrant boy.
Roger,
Watch your mouth,
this is out
immigrant
of
boy.
hand.
Right, this
come
is
on,
some
y'all. Come on, let's chill, y'all. Come on. The show was a show. People came for the show. I understand personal things. I get it. T-Mac, Kobe. I get it. But let's let that go and let's move on with the show, y'all. Come on now. I ain't supposed to be out here muting people, whatever. Y'all, some gonna oh. Oh boy, I thought they got you already. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say somebody gonna throw somebody off now.
AL is on some whole shit. He been a hoe for a minute. Fuck you. Fuck the horse you came on. Fuck T-Mac. Fuck you. And fuck your broke ass job, bitch ass nigga.
Whoa, come on, guys. Easy. Come on.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on.
it's not that
Land your
serious,
plane
y'all.
right
It's
there.
not that serious. Real talk.
Fuck
It just ain't that serious.
Because when people used to talk shit about you, I used to be the one to say AL's cool. When they would talk about you, I would be the one that defended you. And Roger can co-sign that shit.
Okay, look,
Now you gonna
Okay, guys.
fix your dirty mouth
let's
to talk
just
shit
let
about
it,
me?
y'all.
Fuck you.
Let's let that go. If we got discussions like that, we gonna do that off air. We not doing that in front of people. We do that stuff off air. We ain't doing that in front of people. Let's deal with the subject of the show, y'all. Okay,
Yeah, please.
we'll work
Please.
that out. We can work that out off air. We ain't doing that in front of people. That's not what the Rise for Live is gonna be about. Okay. Ain't y'all, ain't nobody perfect, so it is what it is, y'all. So for the audience, ain't
No,
nobody perfect. Y'all ain't perfect, so we saw some imperfection, but we gonna let that go. We'll deal with stuff like that when y'all ain't watching. It just is what it is.
Roger, respectfully, me and this nigga got beef for life. It ain't no coming back. We got beef for life.
All right, well, we'll still talk about it after the show. If we got to talk about it, okay, we ain't gonna do it in front of the people. All right. So let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Y'all, okay, well, since we all up here, y'all, we can get to this third video. Because I'm gonna say this, y'all. Now I'm taking that third video with a grain of salt. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Number one, why would you record this? That's the first thing that catches my mind. Why would you record this? Now, number two, based on the point of view, it looks like the guy was recording his mama saying this stuff to him. Would a guy pull out his phone and record his mama saying this type of crazy stuff? And then I got to say, well, now if he's raised by a single mother and it's been generations after generation, as Chef Mike would say, it's baby mama's babies. I got to say, there's a chance that this is real, because I was having a tough time buying if this is real or if this is actually fake. Because it sounds, but I have heard women talk about Section 8 and getting money off the government and things like that. I've really heard them talk about this with women. I will honestly say I haven't heard them talk a lot about this with guys. I've usually hear these type of conversation. They're talking about their daughters and how their daughters should do this and their daughters should do that. And maybe because of certain rule changes, because you got it where, they, with all the equality stuff that they was trying to put into the law, they was saying, there was guys saying about, well, women can get this because they women and y'all don't give it to guys. And I've heard that they opened some stuff up to men because of that. Now, my thing is this. This sounds absolutely insane to me, but I'm giving it a grain of salt because I don't know that this is actually real. I'm gonna ask y'all to give y'all opinions if y'all gonna comment on it, on if y'all believe it's even real or not, because it sounds odd. But there are some dysfunctional people that are so dysfunctional it could be real. The young man may just be a little bit more dysfunctional than other people because and people may say, well, he didn't sound dysfunctional. He want to go work. To even listen to his mama saying stuff like this, and I know that's your mama, but at some point you got to learn to walk away. Now, my thing is, you recording your mama like this, and you put it on the internet. Like, why would you do that with your mama as a man? I would understand this more if women were doing this, even though it's your mama. You technically shouldn't put your mama on blast like that. But this is some crazy work if this is a very real thing. This is crazy work is a very real thing. But since Gold Pete just happened to come up, I'm gonna give him first crack at this. Gold Pete, say what you want to say, but when it comes to that third video, just also let me know if you think it's real or not.
Hey, what's happening? What's happening, everybody? Peace, peace, peace. Yeah, I think because of what time frame we're in these days, man. You can't put it past. I mean, everything is record this, record that. I think the boy recording it probably, he got it from his mama. I would say, and I would say that it kind of indirectly, involuntarily, I want to say covers himself. I don't know. I'm kind of, everything is about covering yourself. And I'm not saying he know what he doing, but he know what he doing. I mean,
I get you. I get you.
You get what I'm saying?
I do. I actually do. And maybe he did it for those reasons. That would make it make sense. That would make it make sense.
Right. I'm just saying, because of what era we're in, everything is recorded. You can't look. I'm gonna tell you, Roger. You used to be able to go outside and take you were in a situation, you away from home, yeah, and you got to use the bathroom. You could piss on a tree. You can't do that now, right? You'll catch a sexual offender charge. Okay, I'm just saying everything is recorded now. Whether it's indiscriminately or discriminately, it is the record era, and that's just where we at, brother.
Even if it was fake or some AI stuff, still it still you still hear some sisters talk about this type of stuff and everything.
Right.
Talking constantly and everything else among their family, friends,
yes, sir.
their personal inner circles and everything else. And it just was that some man like I said, it could have been scripted. It probably was scripted. It was probably AI, but still, you still hear you still hear those ladies talk about this type of stuff constantly.
Hey, look.
Well, I'm gonna go with Gyogami. Gyogami says in the chat, indeed, he's keeping receipts just in case. I don't know why you put it on the internet, but and as Gold Pete was saying, yeah, I think it's a receipt issue. I think he gonna have to deal with something. He gonna make some move. So I don't know why it's on the internet, but I do believe he really did pull out his phone to have a receipt of this conversation he had for when he moves out, when he gets the job that she's tripping about him getting and all this other stuff. Because he is gonna have some quote unquote family backlash. I don't think he should have necessarily put on the internet to embarrass his mom. But I'm not. My thing is, if that's your decision, that's your decision. Because if your mama's trying to hurt you, hey, that's on you if you want to let the world know.
But hold on, Roger. Hold on. How many mamas have we seen put their kids online?
Well, I mean, we done seen the ton. We done seen the ton.
Okay, I'm saying, we can't look. Is it really a conversation when we get into it? Ain't no fun when the rabbits got the pew pew. I mean, come on, man.
No, I am saying that. I get it. I mean, and real talk. I mean, it wouldn't have been me, but I got to say the way these people are doing their kids nowadays and whatnot, and the fact that he wants to have receipts because he sound young, which means I got to show this to grandma. I got to show this to Uncle David. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Auntie Kim gonna be trying to get on me. I
Like,
got
look
to be
what's
able to pull
going
this
on.
out. Man, it
Look,
just is what it is.
look, we all seen Precious. We all seen
So Roger, in my humble opinion, it's definitely real. I know the woman. It is AL's bitch ass wife. And because
Hey,
AL,
hold on.
Come on, man.
Hold on.
Look,
I don't want to hear that.
Roger,
I don't want to hear that.
hold on. Hold on. Look, hold
I
on.
don't know. I
Listen,
Don't make this
listen,
personal like
listen,
that. Come on.
listen. Hey, listen, listen. Look, listen.
I don't want to hear it.
Look,
All
man.
right,
I
stop.
don't want to hear that.
Y'all, listen,
No, come on, stop. Don't make this personal.
listen. Look, we are on the Roger. We are on the Roger Report Live, right now. We do a lot of streams. We have fun. We talk serious. We have serious discussions. But all that right there that y'all doing, you give people the ammo to say, look at them right there. They talk that, but look how they carry themselves. You brothers doing that right there is wrong. You can't be in a public forum carrying yourself like this. That is incorrect. Now, look, no, hold on. You guys can say what you want to say when look. I get what you're saying, brother. I get what you're saying. Look, I get what you're saying, brother. I get what you're saying. But look,
I took it. No, you're not, because you're not even listening to me. You're not even listening to me.
because okay, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, because I'm not gonna cuss you. I'm not, because we're in a forum, brother. That's not my get down. But I'm just saying.
But the point is that he said all that stuff. I let it go. Nobody said nothing. Nobody said, "Come on."
Gives a fuck about the pussy FBA boy is talking about. All these comedian ass
please
niggas
stop.
would come up under somebody else's name. I have no respect for a grown ass man who cosplays
Okay,
every
look,
motherfucking day.
guys.
Point blank.
Let me finish what I was saying.
Hold on, go, Professor, because they done made this necessary. This has to be Switzerland, y'all. Y'all can have beef, but the Roger Report Live gonna have to be Switzerland, man. Bro, everything was cool. You did not have to say that to start nothing back up, because you know that's gonna start mess back up, and that's what you're doing.
He has effeminate ass ways. He has effeminate ass ways. Period.
That's the problem.
That man has no fucking bass in his voice when he speaks. I have no respect for that mother.
Hey, I got it.
So Roger, let me ask
Shut
you a
your
question.
monkey ass up. Roger's talking. Shut up.
Y'all, look.
No, man.
Look, at the end of the day,
shut your monkey ass up. Roger's talking.
Hey, stop it. All that ain't necessary. At the end of the day, y'all, this is a public forum. I'm not gonna brand myself with certain type of talk. If I let y'all do it, other people gonna do it. I don't want that brand. I just don't. We should have a place where black men can have intelligent conversation without doing petty stuff. And we should be able to have a place like that. And the Roger Report Live gonna have to be that place. So whoever got beef with somebody else, y'all gonna have to put y'all beefs to the side while you here. Now we go backstage and y'all want to beef, cool. Beef all you want. But on air, man, I'm not gonna allow no public beefing by anybody. I'm saying that right now. There will be no public beefing by anybody whatsoever. Period. I don't care what the circumstance is.
Oh, okay, fine, fair enough. You know what? I'm going to respect
Petty Pendergrass, please. Please check Petty Pendergrass.
Hey, just put them off, man. Just put them off.
Check Petty Pendergrass.
Just put them off, man.
AL. I do
you a favor. I'm gone. I'll catch you. I'll catch you backstage after the show.
I'm not telling you to leave. I'm not telling you to leave. But I just said,
I'm telling you I'm leaving because you got effeminate ass men on your panel right now, and I can't do it. I can't do it.
Stop it, man. Come on, man.
No,
stop, please.
No, you want me to stop it.
Look,
I just said no public beefing. Just let it go, y'all. Dang, just let it go.
We in a public forum,
Yeah,
man.
y'all are giving black men
you
a
guys
bad
make
look right
you
now.
guys
Just let it
you
go.
guys
It is not y'all. It is not y'all. I was cool. I didn't even talk to the bro. I used to defend him in other places. And then he came up here and say, I'm feminist this, right? So if there's not going to be beef like that, you're not going to allow it, then I respectfully ask for you to let him go. Because I didn't say nothing to the man. He started this. But then
Okay.
y'all on my neck because I'm defending myself? That's crazy.
No. My thing is once it stopped, you did come out and say something else and start it back up. You know. So my thing is like I don't know.
See, I'm not
the
defending
door
what
wasn't
AL
closed.
did. I'm not defending what AL did. I thought, when this whole thing started, he kind of I think he was wrong for doing that, in my opinion. But but then to escalate this whole situation makes it.
So hold on, let me get
I'm
this
saying
straight.
both
Hold on,
y'all was wrong.
let me get this
If
straight.
anything.
So he calls me all stuff like that, and then I don't say nothing. And then when he stopped, everybody's supposed to stop.
Well, you did
Okay,
sit quiet.
look,
You
we'll
did
talk
sit
about that
quiet.
backstage. We'll talk about it backstage. We're gonna keep the show moving at this point.
Yeah,
AL done left. Y'all done ran him off. Okay.
Yeah, we in a public forum,
But
man.
for the future, there would be no public beefing by anybody. Okay.
Right.
And AL, you're welcome to come back up, but y'all no beefing if AL comes back up. All right.
No, I got my lick back. I'm good. But if he starts again, right? I got my lick back.
Roger,
Okay.
I gotta take off in a little bit, so I kind of wanted to get that point in on that third video. Do you mind?
Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Keffi.
Yeah, if everybody got their points off, yeah, because that video, and again, I started off saying, hopefully it's not a skit and it's not AI because it's hard to tell at this point. But the other thing too is then I also look at it as that young man might be covering himself. I suspect he already, if it's okay, let's just assume it's real. He already had this conversation with his mama. He's talking to his boys and he's listening to him, and they're asking him, "Hey, man," because this is the thing that the other men do. They're like, "Look, man, look, we get it. We know your situation with your mama, this, that, and the third, but we all out here working, bro. Why ain't you got a job?" So he's getting pressure from his boys to be like, "Hey, man, you need to get on. You need to get on out here too and do what it is we're doing. We know your situation. We know how you came up. That's neither here nor there. You're on your way to adulthood, or you're already an adult now. So let's go ahead and get this done and be like us." And that's which is a good thing because that's productive men influencing another man to be productive, and I can support that 100%. So he's probably just trying to cover himself a bit now. All of that being,
can I say something really quickly? Because I want to apologize to the panel. I want to apologize to the audience, and I want to apologize for you, Roger, because I know that's not the place. So I'm going to apologize for my part that I played in it. But just for future reference, you fuck with me, you got a better chance with the devil. I'm done.
Okay, cool.
Okay, good.
All right, so but yeah, as it relates to the video, this literally correlates to the discussion we had yesterday. And understand, this could actually be a real thing because I remember when YouTube first started to become a thing, like years ago, there was a news channel video of a black woman with a bunch of kids living in a hotel room, right? Living in a motel room. And she had a buttload of kids. It was like, I don't know, 9, 10, 11. She literally said, somebody got to take care of all these kids.
I think she had 15 of them.
Yeah.
Did she have 15 kids?
It was, yeah. And you had the white guy standing there, and you got the interviewer, and she's talking to people, and I'm telling you, I remember this to this day. Somebody got to take care of all these kids. Now she wasn't talking about the fathers of those children taking care of those kids. She was putting it on the state and then everybody else.
And she was, well, I got to say this real quick with that. She definitely was not talking about herself. She made that clear. Somebody, meaning somebody other than me, got to take care of these kids. And if my memory is correct, I think that lady had 15 kids.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a buttload of them. I'm just saying like 9 or 10 of them to start with. Because, that's still a lot. And then you ain't got no husband. But my whole point is that this goes back to the idea that you got women understand what the system is. The more kids that they produce without a husband and they don't have the man in the house, then it incentivizes women to produce these kids. But here's the problem. And this is the issue I suspect with this woman on that video. She's going to be the first one to say, well, that dude just took off. You see what I'm saying? She's gonna be the first one to put the blame and accountability on that dude while she's trying to use her son to extract further resources. And once her son ages out, he ain't gonna be no good to her anyway.
Well, I would say, Kev, um, perhaps these women that's having all the children like that are still trying to get free.
You never know. You know what? Let me say this to y'all too. Let me say this to y'all too right now. Guys, when you get a moment, well, go, Professor. I got you covered already. When you get a moment, make a comment and so I can give y'all wrenches later. Okay. So, when you get a moment, make a comment. I can do it later. I know where we are in the video, so I'm gonna give y'all wrenches. Okay. So, H Rebels and even you, Champ Cop for Life, I'm gonna give you one too, because you've been rocking with us regular over here. Okay.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Get free? Get free stuff or
Hey,
get her
look,
stuff free? Or what do you mean?
listen. If Kev, you the main one who should have caught the reference, brother. Okay, historically speaking, when historically speaking, when they was offered that deal, have 15, 20 children, and you will be let free.
Oh, yeah, free from the guidance and leadership of black men. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, you should pick that up off top, bro.
Yeah. But that's the whole point is you do everything without the man, and then when he's not there, and then when it all goes bad, then now you blame the man, right?
Well,
but these are intentional choices that women are making, and then on top of that, they're using their kids to extract resources. And when that young man ages out of the system, and she can't extract any resources from him anymore, now he ain't no good to her either. Now he's a problem, and he got to go.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know what? Let me say this real quick. Shout out to Trell Bentley. He said, now Roger acting like Oprah. You get a wrench. You get a wrench. See, Trell? I was about to give you a wrench. Real talk. I was going to give you a wrench. I was like, man, I don't think Trell had a wrench. Let me get him doing a wrench. See? You see, now you're coming at my throat, Trell. Now you go. If I give you your wrench, now I'm going to feel embarrassed.
Hey, Trill. We still got to pay taxes, though.
I got you.
Yeah, but don't you guys see how that correlates to the discussion we were having yesterday about the welfare state and how it actually ruined the black family? And then, within the construct of that discussion, they were talking about, well, it's personal irresponsibility and lack of accountability on the part of, they weren't really drilling it down to like who was at fault and then who was encouraging this mess. Because black men certainly were not encouraging this. We still don't encourage it to this day. This is not behavior that we support. And yet here we are, and black men get the brunt of that blame.
Well, I want to say that this is what I had to realize as Gold P was talking, and I was like, man, the dude is just getting the receipt. This because I didn't, you know what? I just didn't want this to be real. Real talk. That's what this video, that third video, did to me. I just didn't want this to be real. But when I heard Gold P talking, and I thought about that perspective where he's covered himself, because he got to cover himself for family. Because I think that's really who his problem is at this point. Because he might be like a 17, 18-year-old guy or something. But of course, the way he was talking, he could definitely be like early 20s. Because he's saying other people got places that they live. So he could be like a guy in his early 20s. So I just don't want this to be real. But now I got to think about it. If you're growing up under a single mother nowadays, and you get of age, and she's trying to keep this Section 8 going, but she needs you to be there to say she got the dependent in the house, because I'm assuming based on what she said, that's what the issue is. She want to be able to say she got X amount of dependents, so she don't want him to leave. And what if he the only one?
Well, I mean, but see, that's the situation, right? Like it's all over the internet, where you see women talking about who's going to raise these kids and things like that. I think BGS made a great point a long time ago, right? Black women look for the village, right? They want to be the village wives. They want to do all this crazy shit, and then the responsibility has to fall on the village, especially the village of the men.
You know what?
And in this case, the government, right? And you know what I mean. And so this has been one of the roots. This has been one of the roots of the problem ever since Nixon.
Yeah. See, what we're witnessing is what I call a son husband right there. where the woman keeps the son at bay, keeps him in the house, keep him as a little boy or a child and everything else, and make sure that she's reaping the benefits while he stays in with her and everything else in the house and everything. She doesn't want him to grow up and everything. She wants to keep him there so she can keep that benefit. Because if he were to step out of the house, let's say if he decided to go ahead and go to trade school and everything else, because I know most brothers, want to either at least go to a trade school or a 2-year college and everything, and to get out of the situation and get a better job. She knows if she does that, he won't be getting Section 8 and everything else, and she's going to be on struggle mode. Probably be out in the streets and everything else.
I mean, she's struggling now. She's struggling now.
She's struggling now, but it's going to get worse where she's going to get thrown out in the streets.
When you got to tell your son not to get a job so I can keep my place, that's a struggle in itself. You knew your son was going to come of age at some point, and you knew at some point he was going to have to. How he going to get a car and he ain't got no job? You know what I'm saying? And let's keep it real. What young man don't want no car so he can get up with some lady? You know that time is coming.
Well, I would say, that the struggle would be even more prevalent when he's of age, because he's been subject to all that programming since young. Now he's in the mindset, I got to take care of my mom, right? I mean, how many times have we seen, I bought my mom a house, I bought my mom this, that, and other, I make sure I take care of my mom. What you say about my mama? How many times have we seen that? Over and over. I think the challenge is when he becomes of age and he has to really work to remove the programming, if he's even able to, that his mom has subjected him to for all the years. It's like putting on weight. You put on the weight, and then now it's hard to lose the weight, right? Go ahead.
Now, I was gonna say, in his case, I think it's the opposite. In his particular case, I think he probably about 21, 22, maybe 23. He going to his friends' places now. His relationship with them is a little bit different. They visit him. They visit him at his mama crib. He visit them. He visit them at they crib. They got cribs. They got ladies coming through the crib from time to time. Yeah, man, it's cool. I'm gonna catch you next time. Shirley finna come through. Not big Shirley, but Shirley finna come through. Okay. Yeah, man, it was good to see you, but man, I gotta have you bounce because Brenda about to come through. You see what I'm saying? So now his thing is he getting hit with these guys like interacting with the women because they got possibly cars and apartments, because he said they got homes. So you probably talking about their apartments or whatever. And you ain't got to have the best apartment in the world when you young like that, because the girls gonna come through at the end of the day. What young man got an apartment and didn't have girls come through? That's a very, very rare situation. So the thing is, man, he's too old to accept not working and just being at his mama crib. It's becoming a problem for him. That's what I really believe it is at this point, which is why she's arguing with him about not to get a job. Because once he get that job, she know what he about to do. He about to bounce.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm just saying, it is an indirect connection that he has to deal with. On the surface, yeah, he's gonna, want to be with his boys, get his own place, blah, blah, blah. But what I'm speaking to is that internal programming. We say, it may be the opposite direction that he's going to, but I'm saying the challenge to disconnect from all that programming is always a challenge. That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you. I just think his priority for this moment, I'll just say it like that. His priority for this moment is, I got to get me a whip. 9 times out of 10, he ain't got one. And I got to get me a place because I got to bring chicks over.
Yeah,
they ain't coming to my house no more.
That's the surface. Below the surface, I'm saying If his mom is like, baby, I'm about to get put out. you know, he, you know,
Well,
I
she's
mean,
saying it. She is saying it. What am I gonna do? She
well,
is
hey,
saying
let her get into a real situation that he perceives as a real situation. He's gonna be right back in there.
Not only that, he's she's already given him the guilt trip
Yeah,
story, and
look at it.
she's been building him up for a couple decades now. Well, like,
Yes,
I
sir.
did this for you, I did that for you, I'm sacrificed for you, and this is how you gonna do. Look, I don't even know how it really goes because I ain't trying to do that to my own kids. But my
Right.
whole thing is that, but I've seen it play out that way. I saw. I'm telling you again, when internet first popped off, I remember those little early videos of because that's why I started. I said, "Where's all this craziness coming from? Is this stuff really happening? This is what people are doing." But some woman was screaming about how she was desperate because she wanted her kids to help her pay bills. Give me something. Yeah, I mean, so that speaks to a couple of things. What kind of mother is she, or was she? Over their lifetime, and what did she do to prepare herself to, send her kids off into adulthood? And where's her husband? Like it generates a lot of questions. So she's not trying to do any of that. She's gonna
yeah.
guilt trip that boy she's gonna guilt trip him to no end, and it's gonna get to the point where he's either have to gonna cut her off and say no, which I've had to do, or he's gonna give in, which and I've done that too. And then I realized, you know what? Okay, now I'm just getting used. Now I gotta say no.
All right,
So
And
either
let
way,
me
I
say
it
this
comes
real
to a
quick.
head.
Let me say this. Okay, yeah, let me say this real quick. Shout out to FLX. He said, "Hold on, Roger Report. As many bones as many bones I made, Roger, all almost die, choking on my insight and no wrench. Hey yo, and FLX. I'm sorry it took me so long to honor this one, but brother, I got you. I got you. All the big supporters gonna get theirs, y'all." Y'all gonna see every day somebody gonna pop up with a wrench who's supposed to have one. So if you've been a great supporter, like real talk, y'all, I've had great financial supporters on this channel. Real talk. So all of them gonna get theirs too. Real talk, y'all. And I do mean that. So if you think you fall in that bunch and you think I missed you, just say something. I'm gonna try to make sure somebody get a wrench every day, because I ain't gonna lie to y'all and say I'm finna sit here go through the trouble trying to find everybody and get them a wrench in one day, because that ain't me. But I'm gonna try to make sure every day the right people get a wrench. Okay, real talk. Okay, so the month of July, all kinds of wrenches be going out. Month of July, y'all, all kinds of wrenches. Now,
hey, go ahead.
I've been saying I'm with H Rebels 100%. I think he's in a bad situation because he is the guy that she is leaning on. If he leave, it does turn into a situation for her based on what she said.
Yes, sir.
So, and Go P, you got a good point about, is he really ready to make that move? I'm hoping well, I ain't gonna say I hope that, because I do want him to be more of a man and not just be worried about having sex with women. Okay. Shout out to you, Night. Sometimes I got you too. He got to get past her. That's the thing. I don't want him to get out in the world and just start going crazy because he got an apartment or a car. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't going to be good for him either. But I definitely don't want him to have the thought process that is my responsibility to make sure my mom is straight. Therefore, I can't get no job and I must stay in the Section 8 home. Because that's horribly bad. That's
Hey,
horribly
look, man. It doesn't always necessarily mean that it is a direct, what I mean by it's a direct, I got to take care of my mom. She's pressuring him. It's not always a direct pressure to get her son to do this, that, and other. It can be done indirectly. For example, um, she might be talking to a relative, and that relative's talking to so and so, and the relative talks to the son, and the son, because people can say things differently than other people. He's used to his mama saying stuff, but if it's coming from a different person and a different type of energy, he may be called indirectly. and put back into that situation. You see what I'm saying? He has so many, and he what, 23? He has so many things running through his mind and so many things he wants to experience, but that programming is a monster, man. I want the best for the young brother too, but it can be challenging to deal with that type of programming, especially when many of us have been in that seat. Many of us have been in that seat, and many of us brothers still fall into that. Oh, that's my mom. That's just what it is.
All right, hold on, y'all. Let me do this real quick, y'all.
Yes,
now,
sir.
I had to wait on this one because it was a little tense up here at first. But shout out to There I Said It. And I'm laughing because I get the sense of humor in this. He said, baddest one hit my hand. But I couldn't say that earlier, man. I couldn't say that earlier while it was on. I couldn't say that earlier while they was on the panel, man. But shout out to There I Said It. I appreciate it, bro.
Let go to you.
I do appreciate it.
There you go. Let go to you.
Yeah. All right.
We know how that game is played.
Shout out to Floyd Thompson. He says, for the wrench fund. Floyd, you ain't had to say nothing, brother. You ain't had to say nothing because you definitely done looked out for a brother. You definitely done looked out for a brother. Real talk. Real talk, y'all. Shout out to FLX. He says hashtag all riches matter campaign for FLX. FLX, I got you, brother. I got you. You good, man. You good, y'all. I would tell you this. The trouble I have to go through to keep up with the information to even do a sponsor the stream, it did open my eyes to who's really financially supporting, which I ain't got nothing against the people who don't necessarily have it to financially support. Because, I didn't come up with money, so I ain't gonna never hold it against somebody that they don't have certain kind of money. I'm never gonna do that. But I definitely appreciate the people who actually go in their pocket to bless myself in the channel like that. I do appreciate y'all, real talk. And that was just a extra benefit I got from doing a sponsor stream, is to see who really got my back like that on the financial side. Now, the people who, if you ain't got it, but you here watching it all the time, hey, I appreciate you too, because them views matter. And when y'all hit them like button, the views matter. Matter of fact, if you ain't hit the like button already, go hit that now. Go hit that now. So if you think you deserve a wrench, y'all, make sure you say something. In July, we giving out wrenches all day. Okay, all the wrenches. We get out wrench. We gonna do it like Oprah, y'all. We gonna do it like Oprah. You get a wrench.
Hot July.
Okay. Now, let me just say real quick before I turn it over. Now, don't get yourself embarrassed asking for no wrench you ain't did nothing to support. Okay, don't make me publicly say no. Okay, okay, don't put yourself in that position. Okay, because I can't feel bad about saying no if it's a no. You know if you've been supporting or not, and guess what, y'all? I know because I've been tracking it now. So, and I've been tracking for a while, so I know if you've been a real supporter or not. Okay, so keep that in mind. But if you think you're supposed to have a wrench, make sure you say something to me, and I'm gonna try to make sure y'all get it. Okay, real talk. All right, but don't embarrass yourself. I go ahead.
And if Roger doesn't address the situation, the conversation about you receiving a wrench, just shoot me a message in the chat, and I'll pull my belt off.
Only for the people that deserve.
Let me give Roger what he deserves.
Only for the folks that deserve it, man. Okay. But
I'm gonna give Roger what he deserves. He ain't took care of you. Let me get this belt. Have a conversation.
Well, if it's the right name, then yeah, I'm a fold if it's the right name. I ain't gonna even front. I'm a fold if it's the right name. Okay. I'm gonna talk crazy behind the paywall. But in public, I'm a fold. In public, I'm a
fold in public. Hey, look. I'm gonna just say, man. You see, this is the kind of broadcast podcast we enjoy. We can talk serious. We can laugh and enjoy things, man, because we understand where we are. We understand who we are and what our goal is. And when we're on that page, man, hey, we winning all day. So I also appreciate everybody who support the Roger Report, and we're gonna keep it pushing, man. We winning. We winning.
Hey,
You know,
appreciate
off
that,
top.
brother. And if y'all need to get in touch with Gold Peter to get the belt on your behalf, you can call him at 1-800-PULL UP.
Yeah, 1-800 pull up. 1-800. I got the belt for Roger.
Belt that ass. Belt that ass.
Rebels, I hope you ain't forgot your thought. You was about to say
so check it
something.
out. Yeah, just real quick, and this is on a serious tip. So these are the type of women that will. So she'll be like, well, okay, so I need you here, and you, if you get work, then you screwing me over. But if you really have to get some money, then go ahead and do what you got to do. Going out there and get that money, but just don't do it in a way that's gonna, show any paperwork. See, and then and we can't discount the fact, or even the possibility, that there are women who actually encourage, especially the young boys, to go out there and do stuff that's not necessarily on the up and up, to become a part of the illegal economy, right? And then that next thing you know, they're in trouble, and now they got that record. Now the good thing is that, just so you guys know, it used to be 1 in 3 black men. It was guaranteed they were going to go to prison. 1 in 3. It's now down to 1 in 5. It's going to get eventually to 1 in 7, then 1 in 10 over the next, I say 10 to 15 years, hopefully. My whole point is because black men are getting smarter. But my whole point is that this is the type of woman that puts the type of pressure on young boys or young men to go out there and be a part of that illegal economy. And then when they get caught up, then they can't do nothing for them. And that's how a lot of that stuff happens, or some of it happens anyway.
Well, I would say, brothers have been already smart. I'm not discounting what you said, but I'm saying we've already been smart. We just had to become more cunning with how we move because of what has been in the gauntlet since young. We've had to run this gauntlet. Yes, we're smart as all get out, but we had to become more cunning to make our moves more efficient, to be able to escape, or I won't even say escape, but to be able to function in a system or in a program that's been railing against brothers from day one. And that's been our thing. We've had to become more cunning as an additive to our smarts we already have.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say that, we've definitely had to respond, because as black men, we don't get to really play around in a fake world, or there's consequences. If you don't accept what the real world is, you're gonna end up in prison, you're gonna end up homeless, or you're gonna end up dead. That's just what it is for black men. You can't really go out there and not have a firm grasp on reality. And you got to learn to recognize that people are trying to get you to do bad stuff so they can make a come up at the end of the day. They don't even want you to do bad stuff so you can come up. They want you to do bad stuff so they can come up. I'm going to have this baby. Now I need you to go out there and start slanging, so you can take care of me and this baby. Why? Because I don't want you to get no regular job. I need to make sure my baby's dressed in this. I need to be dressed in that. You want me to represent, right? And they'll put all type of pressure on you, because they live in this world that we don't live in. See, they live in a world where they expect other folks to die for them, or other folks to get injured for them, or other folks to get inconvenienced for them, or pay fines for them, because they just don't expect to pay. And I think this is something that black men, we really should start, especially with the younger guys, shed often and early. Look, the only reason she asked you to do this stuff because she don't know how to do it herself.
It's true. Yeah, that's true. Because
Hey, I would say, oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the reason why is that they just don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They just want to sit back and become either a son, husband, and all that type of stuff. Make sure the child doesn't grow and everything else, and keep her status together and everything else.
Well, I would say, and you guys can have your own view of this. What I'm about to say is, I don't know of, and pay attention to how I say this. I don't know of any funeral, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, as well as financially, that hasn't made money. Okay, so pay attention to
Dang,
how I said that now.
dang, dang. Shout out to Afro Merchant. I saw that message. I'm looking for it now. I'm just waiting on it to pop up over here, brother. I'm just waiting on it to pop up over here. And well, I just read this real quick. Afro Merchant said, at the Roger Report, I send you a relevant cash app to what you just said. And I'm waiting on it to pop up, y'all. I don't know what's going on. I'm waiting on it to pop up. So as soon as I get it, I'm definitely gonna say it. I'm trying to make it pop up right now and refreshing. As soon as you want the one, now you can't get that one. Ain't this about nothing? but I will say this while I'm waiting on that to come in. Okay. I'm gonna say that, Black men do have to really take on this awareness about what Black women want, because they do live in this world that we are not participating in. They want us to pay all the bills. Y'all been hearing Black women say that over the internet now, right? They want us to pay all the bills. Why you want me to pay all the bills and you got a job? Now, back in the day, men paid all the bills. Women didn't work outside the home, though. So why you want me to pay all the bills while you have a job? Just don't make sense to me. Now, if you tell me you want me to pay all the bills, you must be telling me how you about to retire once we get married. See, my thing is, are you willing to retire when we get married? Because if you ain't willing to retire when you get married, why you think I'm gonna pay all the bills? I'm not gonna stop a woman from working if she just really want to work outside the house, unless we have small children. Like, before my kids go to school, you're not gonna be allowed to work if you're married to me. And y'all hear how I said that? You're not gonna be allowed to work, meaning I'm in charge. I'm not allowing her to work if we have small children, because I'm the man. It's the marriage. She's agreeing for me to be her leader, just at a more official point once we're married. See, I won't marry a woman who won't agree that I'm her leader. If she won't agree to that, ain't no point in even trying. And I'm gonna bother you so much, a lot of women just gonna avoid it at the end of the day. And I do want y'all to understand, don't let your ego block what's really going on out here. Don't say women don't want to get married. No, they don't want to marry you because you a nigga. That's how they view you. You got to accept that. I get a lot of women don't want to marry me because I'm a nigga, and they don't want no nigga in charge. Now, I ain't mad at them because they think I'm a nigga. It don't even bother me because I understand that's how America is. But the one thing I'm going to make clear is I will be in charge. That is something you cannot overcome in a marriage with me. You'll never overcome that in a marriage with me. The only thing you can do is ruin your situation, because I am not going to take on responsibility of a person, and we're going to thrive, and you're also going to be disobeying me. Yep, I'm saying it, disobeying me, and treat me as if I'm not your leader. Luckily for me, I don't come from money. Let me just say this real quick. Luckily for me, I don't come from money. I will let this whole thing crash and burn. I credit be 432. Mess with me. I would make the whole thing crash and burn. They'll put us out the house and take it. Messing with me. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be what it's gonna be. At the end of the day, I will financially break us over you don't want to act right. Okay. Now I'm gonna do marriage the biblical way. I will not cheat on my wife, and I don't expect her to cheat on me. And if she do, then I'm out of there. But other than that, I'm not gonna ask for no divorce. I'm not gonna ask for no. But if I'm not your leader, I'm not paying for anything. No bill will be paid at all. Play with me if you want to. You don't want to cook like you should, no bill will get paid. Okay, you don't want to look out for the kids like you should, no bill will get paid. We'll just be poor. Because the one thing I can say about me, I didn't grow up so rich that I'm afraid to be poor. Now, I ain't saying I won't have the money. I'm going to continue to earn money, but I ain't got to pay no bill just because I earned some money. I'll let this whole thing fall apart if that's what it takes. It is what it is. You're gonna learn one way or another. Go ahead,
Roger,
brother.
let,
Go
let,
ahead.
let me ask you a few questions, brother. Okay. Um, you you said that she wouldn't be allowed to work if you have small children. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Um, would that be in referencing in the days of now, or you talking about past? I'm trying to get an idea where you're
No,
applying that to.
at
The days
any
of now,
point, at any point in time, I
at
would,
any point in
even
time.
when I was an 18-year-old guy, you know what I'm saying? Now, if I was with a chick, we get married, we have some small children, she wasn't gonna work then. That was always the case.
So we're to speak now in the days of today, right?
Still would be the
And,
case.
and still, okay. So you wouldn't want her to, because I'm asking because in the days of now, the basic home needs two incomes.
No, it
You
doesn't.
say,
No,
hear
no,
me out.
homes
Hear me out.
don't need two incomes.
Hear me out. Hear me out. I get where you're coming from because if you live in frugally, I get it. But what I'm asking you is, if you're with small children, let's say 2, 3 small children, and you're the only income in the house, sure, you save on the side of, because you have someone who's taking care of the care for your children. But you if you look at things from an economic standpoint, healthcare is higher, food is higher, um, transportation is higher, fuel, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just curious. You wouldn't. I mean, if she wanted to work at home online, which she already would have a job, taking care of the children. But I'm asking you, the the other part, if she wanted to work online, make money online, and things like that, you wouldn't allow her to do that.
I doubt it. I can consider online working where you still can be at home. I can consider that, but economically speaking, I cannot afford children that are not loved.
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
afford those kids. Children who are not loved cost a lot. And see, people don't think about it from that perspective. But children who grow up, they really believe they're not loved. They do all kinds of stuff, and they cost all kinds of money. I can't afford those kids. And I ain't gonna even say I can't afford those kids. I don't want to afford those kids.
Okay.
I don't need little Jimmy out there robbing people and stealing cars, and then I got to come bail little Jimmy out. I can't afford that. Well, I ain't gonna say I can't. I don't want to afford that. Okay. I don't want to get some parent to get my attention and saying, yeah, we caught your daughter breaking the windows out of the house. She was throwing rocks at the windows, breaking them out just for no reason. So now you need to pay for these windows. I can't afford that. I need children who are loved. They're just cheaper.
But hold on, Roger. Hold on. Kids will do stuff. We do know that, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I just had to pull the belt off on you yesterday, day before yesterday. You know, you know what I'm
Boy,
saying?
you ain't
So,
you motherfucker.
so yeah, my point is, my point is, she won't be able to control that aspect. I think the structure would, that if you have an intact structure that will give that or substantiate that kind of love you're speaking about, um, that will work if it is maintained. And I think she can, because at some point she's gonna, the kids are gonna go to school unless you're gonna have them homeschooled, right?
No,
Or
no. If they're in school, that's
like
a
Head
different
Start, like
thing.
Head Start, like Head
Different
Start.
I don't know about Head Start now.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
I'm talking about school. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about
You know?
school? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I ain't. She can do she can give them the Head Start. I mean, come on, man.
Okay.
She got to earn her keep, as they say. But no, my thing is, all children are gonna be bad at some point. I need children who understand when they're bad, there will be consequences to pay, because they're gonna move differently than children who are bad, who don't believe they got consequences to pay. And the ones who don't believe they got consequences to pay are normally gonna be the more expensive child. We just don't think about it in those terms. Because when you start dealing with the court system because of your child, when you got to stop to leave your job and go to the school because of your child, you know, when your child is get caught up in damaging stuff they ain't had no business being around in the first place, like all that stuff costs money at the end of the day.
I agree.
So I'd rather take the cheaper kids. Quote unquote good kids are just cheaper. Real talk. And even the ones when you think about it from a non-financial perspective, if you are just worrying about your child all the time, that'll cost you your health.
Right.
You get
Stress.
sicker, die earlier, all kinds of stuff just because you sitting there worried about what this kid gonna do. Because you ain't established who this kid is and who this kid's supposed to be while they live under your roof. So
Yeah, but
now
I want to focus back on. I want to bring it back to the you saying that you wouldn't she couldn't work. I'm questioning the you say, okay, you would be the main one bringing in the income, right? You would be the income. Is
yeah.
that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you want to work later, I'm pretty sure that'll be fine. But she's just not gonna work. Now,
They
when
have
they
smart
all
children.
in school, maybe she can work, and I don't see how that'll be that much of an issue. But if I got a small child that's not in school, she is not working.
So from you're saying from 0 to like 4, she should be at home.
Oh, that's guaranteed.
Okay. All right, hey man, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I'm just getting a consensus on what you mean, especially in these days. I mean, you know,
Oh, no.
financially
Oh,
speaking,
my only
there's some
question is,
challenges. That's all I'm
if
saying.
no, I get you. But the whole thing is, she can either want stuff more, or
Uh,
she can want to be there for her children more. One of them is going to win. Is being there
yes,
for
sir.
your child going to win, or wanting stuff going to win? Because it's one of the two at the end of the day. Because what you need to go to work for, so you can get some stuff. That's what we do when we get jobs. We go to work so we can get stuff. A lot
Right.
of us don't even use the stuff, or we barely use the stuff. Some of us lose the stuff, don't even get it to the house. So the whole question is getting stuff more valuable to you than making sure my children are doing what they need to be doing and developing properly. And if
Mm-hmm.
you think telling me that getting stuff is more valuable to you, you will have a tough lesson to learn after you tell me that one.
Well, maybe the woman you want likes stuff, Roger.
She can like stuff, but if she likes stuff more than my children, she gonna have a problem.
Well, maybe she gonna speak equality to you, brother. Yeah, these.
Yeah, she better make sure these children are equally loved. That's the equality she need to worry about.
My stuff is equal to her stuff is equal to the love of her kids,
I burn
brother.
all that stuff down.
Nah, Roger goes set flame to everything. Daggone it, Roger.
If that's what I need to do to make a statement, I would. I mean, that ain't what's some stuff when it comes to my children. Nothing to me.
Yeah.
I burn up your favorite stuff if I got to make that a point. I don't care. We talking about my kids now.
Right.
Once there's kids involved, I mean, the way I am, there's only two things that can come before my children. That is God and my wife. That's it. Hey, don't nothing else come before kids to me.
Hey, Raj, T brothers,
Yes, sir.
that sister who did that, you think that set black people as a whole, is that set us back when they do that type of stuff? I
They're
kind
gonna
of
tell her son not to work.
Yeah.
I don't.
You don't think so?
Because the average, I mean, well, from brother standpoint, her statements don't mean nothing, because the world is going to teach him that he has to get out there. The world, she can say what she don't want all day, but the world is going to show him different.
Well,
Okay.
my thing is this: it definitely ain't moving us forward.
Yeah,
Now, does it hold us back as a whole? That depends on how many of them are doing it. Because to me, that was one of the worst conversations I heard in a good long while. And like I said, I know in my heart I didn't even want that to be real, but it's just coming to terms with the fact of what society we actually in. And I totally believe he was getting as receipts to show people of his family because he been
yeah,
telling somebody, "Well, I'm trying to work and get a job, but Mama keeps telling me not to," and
right.
people ain't believing him.
Mhm.
So I
Okay.
really
Yeah,
believe that's what the case is. And
Okay.
I had to have a real thought. Our mamas out here doing this to their sons. Yeah. Because I see
yeah.
them doing it to daughters, so why wouldn't they do it to their son?
Yeah.
With a
Yeah. I
different
agree
type of
with that.
energy, with a different type of energy. They want the boys to be the labor, uh, historically speaking.
Yeah.
They
And,
want
and
that. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say the whole thing is everything she said was about herself.
Hmm.
If you go, I'm gonna lose my Section 8. She didn't care about him. She cared
Right,
about her comfort, and she cared about her living a life where she don't have to have a job.
because she's lazy.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
absolutely.
it's doing.
She's lazy.
It's not okay. It's not hurting black people as a whole, but I think it's hurting black women as a whole because they're going to view the world's going to start viewing black women in a very very different light when when that stuff starts coming out on YouTube like that or on TikTok.
Well, I think the world's gonna keep on looking at them the way they look at them now, unimportant. That's just something black women ain't came to terms with yet. They're unimportant. I'm not talking about black men's view. I'm talking about this quote unquote world view where you're talking about
Worldview.
other people outside of black men. They're just not
That's what I'm
important.
saying. Yeah, because right now, they're going to because right now they're showing this image and everything worldwide. And everyone's going to say, "Wow, look at these women, man. These black women, they're beautiful. But do I want to go ahead and be with them and everything? Get married to them? No way."
I don't think people saying that too much. My honest opinion, based on behaviors of other people, if black women ain't being used to somehow further white supremacy, they don't seem to matter. Now that might be a tough pill, especially for a black woman to swallow, but that's what I generally see. If they cannot be used to further white supremacy, they don't seem to matter. Now,
Roger.
black men care about them, but outside of us, they don't seem to matter, man.
Roger. When I first heard you say it that way, I don't know if you remember. I engaged you by questioning, like, what do you mean? Because that's something I hadn't heard nor thought of before. Um, that was an interesting take. And then as I listened, I said, and when you said it is an ideology, because we come up, I mean, hey, look, I'm from the 70s and my father is from, Vietnam War and all that. So there's a certain history that comes along with me, right? So the understanding may be a little bit differently, especially when it comes to brothers and Whiskey Mike. But when you said it, I had to sit back and uh, get an understanding of what you meant. And when you said it is an ideology, I had to say Roger's got a point there. It is anybody can have this mindset. And I hadn't thought about it because what? That programming I spoke about earlier. Hey, that's my mama. You know what I mean?
Now, and for those who don't get what he's saying, he's talking about the first time that he heard me say that black women are white supremacists, because it is an ideology. It's not about you being white. anybody can have a white supremacist ideology. Most of America has one. Real talk. And it is what it is. And I just accept stuff as it is what it is. And that's how I know I need to change things. Why would I change something unless I accept it? It is what it is, and I don't like what it is, so now I want to change it. So yeah, it is what it is. It is an ideology, and black women are great white supremacists. And it's not about saying it to attack them. It's about let's address what the problem really is. It's hard to fix something unless you accept that it exists. But Chef
Well,
Mike has now come up. So let me
hey, what's
go
up,
ahead and
Chef?
give him the
What's
floor.
up, Chef?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to find yourselves on this fantastic Friday. Roger, how are you? Gentlemen on the panel, what's good?
What's up, Chef? What's up? How you be, brother?
Hey,
What's up, Chef? How you doing?
hey, I'm in between heaven and hell, and I ain't got no dirt on me, so I'm in a good place.
All right. Don't want to throw no dirt on you now. Come on.
Nah, man. Hey, look, every day above ground is a good day. As long as I can be
Yes,
seen in
sir.
that view, that is what we look for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. I just want to weigh in real quick on the conversation. I'm enjoying the conversation. I missed a bit of it because it's a busy season. It's graduation season. Just real quick. I work
We
with high
can
school
tell you
students.
missed a bit. We can tell you missed a bit.
Yeah, because
Yeah, we can.
I must have really missed a bit for real. But
Yes, you did.
it's graduation season, and with my program that I work with high school students, I have 5 graduates this season. So it's been a busy time and a pleasantly busy time. So I'm very proud of my students, and I want to shout them out because I do share the show with them, and we do talk about it in our sessions sometimes. So I'm definitely going to shout them out to the students of Lead BVI that graduating this summer. I want to definitely shout them out. But that's not what I want to talk about. Listen, if you pay attention to what has been going on all week with the shows and the clips that you've been showing, I'm so broke. I got to shop. I can't shop at Bloomingdale's. I got to shop at H&M. And then the state of the welfare state and its effect on our community. You look at things like that, and then you look at today's clips, and then I'm telling you, old boy, he cracked me up when he said, you don't look like princesses, you look like pirates. I actually thought about a lot of the folks that I drink with. And yeah, I'm definitely using that one. But it speaks to something that I have been saying for a while. And old girl in the third clip summed it up perfectly. These are baby mama babies. These are baby mama babies. See, it's a difference when a child is born to a husband and wife. If your mother was a wife when you were born, you have a different upbringing. If your mama was a baby mama when you were born, you have a completely different perspective. Okay? That lady in the third clip, that little girl in the third clip, because she looked like a little girl sitting in the middle of her bed. And I don't know too many grown women when I was growing up that were just going to be sitting in the middle of their bed in the middle of the day, hair undone. That's just not what women did. But I digress. That is a baby mama. You can tell she ain't never done that nonsense of her daddy getting her ass. If you don't get your lazy self up, don't no man want no lazy woman. She's never heard that from a man. So she doesn't understand that when her son is saying, look, I can't be sitting around like this. I got to go out here and get mine, even if he's under the misconception of getting it out of the mud. You know what I mean? And I don't like to use that terminology because it's a perverted way of thinking. But he's sitting there going, I cannot do this. And she's making him feel guilty for wanting to actually grow up and progress. You can't leave because you're going to mess up my Section 8. You're going to mess up the ability for me to be lazy. You're going to mess up the ability for me to just sit on my blessed assurance and let the government do what it does. I'm comfortable with barely enough because I don't have to get out here and have a big house. I don't have to have the bag. All I need to do is be able to stunt on my girlfriends when I go out. And if you go out here and get a job, you're going to jeopardize that. And what happens is women like that don't want to see their children do better than them because that will bring them shame that they cannot get rid of. That will bring a certain amount of accountability that they cannot run away from, and they will be crushed under its weight. You were not anything. You did nothing with your life, yet your child cut you off and became successful. Ain't nobody gonna look at your child. Everybody gonna look at you. And women would not be able to handle that. I know that was a long opening statement, but I'm gonna land my plane right there.
I think it's a very well stated opening statement. And I just want to say right now, y'all, at this very moment, I'm actually going through the chat because I wanted to make sure nobody said nothing about Soup. You know, I know Chef usually be the one, but I know people's getting a little out of pocket today, Chef. That's why we know you missed something. So I just want to make sure that the other brothers didn't say nothing about Soup and I missed it. That's all. But you definitely on the right path. And man, bro, we gonna keep stressing that baby mama baby thing. Cause it's too glaring, man. Baby mama babies just be having a whole different way of thinking in most occasions. And I know that mother had to be a baby mama baby herself. Cause why would a mother like it was just like I said, y'all, I just didn't want it to be real. For me to see a mother talk to her son like that and tell her son, don't go get a job. Don't be the best man you can be. Don't show that you can stand on your own 2 feet. Don't improve yourself. Why? Because I'm comfortable where I'm at. That's it. That's the only reason I want you to be a failure, my son, so I can be comfortable where I am. To me, man, that was heartbreaking to me, y'all. Okay. And I just didn't want that to be real. I still don't want it to be real right now. But that breaks my heart to see a woman literally tell her own son. Because y'all know they're supposed to have some kind of. I know they treat their kids terrible. I know they do. And I done said plenty of times myself that wouldn't nobody be able to prove that black women love their children if somebody sued black women like collectively in a court of law. Could no lawyer fight that case for them and win it? Of course, they're going to be like, no, it's clear that black women don't love their children. But to see a woman say that to her son, and I was like, man, this just can't be real. But then I had to accept he is trying to prove this to his relatives or his friends to say, no, my mama actually be saying this stuff to me. And the fact that he pulled the phone out, because like we know how this is, y'all. He pulled the phone out. She saw him pull the phone out, and she kept on saying it. How do you keep saying something like this on camera? You see he got the phone. I'm pretty sure this dude don't have no secret phone. I'm pretty sure he just pulled his phone out, started recording. She sees him record and kept on saying, no, my son, I need you to fail for me. Not be a victim for me. I need you to be a failure for me.
Roger.
Go ahead.
This is that generation that wants to be TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat famous. They want to be social media famous. And you gotta understand, all of these kids, all of these baby mama babies, they got kids now. And the kids gonna make them TikTok famous. They kids gonna make them do it for the fine because everybody thinks that this is gonna be the one that goes viral. I'm gonna go viral for this, and if I go viral for this, then yeah, now you don't have to worry about getting the job because we're gonna all get off Section 8, because we're gonna all get the bag, because we're gonna be YouTube millionaires. It's a fallacy. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy that these people, and sometimes I really wonder if they are really, really true people, but these people have no grounding in reality. They have absolutely no grounding in reality. And unfortunately, it's so many more of them who have phones, cameras, microphones in their face that tells a story. The rest of us who are real people, we gotta swim out from up under all of this nonsense. We got to do damage control for some other idiot.
Chef Mike,
Yes.
question. I actually asked this question earlier to the panel since you came on board. Do you think that's do you think that sends a terrible message to the black community or just black women in general?
This is just a horrible message.
Okay.
It's a horrible message for anybody. Black, white, Latin, Asian, it doesn't matter. Wait, somebody has an echo.
I'm sorry, that was me. I'll
Yeah,
mute.
black, white, Asian. That's a horrible message. Why would you tell your son to be less of a man? Who do you want your son to submit to? That's a better question. We know who you submitted to. Now, how do you want to beat your son into submission to the same ideology that you have submitted to? I'll wait for a clear answer for that one from the black women in question, or for those people in question.
Well, this goes back to what I originally said. We're in an era of record everything. We're in an era where people think, at the behest of brothers, as usual, historically speaking, uh, the demise of a brother is the come up. And it goes back to what I originally said beforehand, which I told you guys to pay attention to how I said it or say it. I have yet to see a funeral that hasn't made money physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, as well as financially. I have yet to see one that hasn't made money. And my point of saying that is, you know, when it comes to brothers, historically speaking, I make it a point to say historically speaking, because people either like to uh, deny what is in the history or refuse to acknowledge any part of history that has happened as of recent or in the past. So I constantly say historically speaking because I want people to recognize what history has. Now, I'm not a historian. I always say that I'm familiar with history. You know, you can go to Google and see some history. You know, when you're looking for that recent restaurant, you're looking at, well, there's a history there. So people like to deny and say, oh, I don't like history, blah, blah, blah. But my point is, history has always said, them brothers right there, we can make money off them, whether it is physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, as well as financially. We can make some life living off him, whether he's a boy to a man. We could make some money. Hence the video where she says, I don't want you to work. I need you to take care of me. She's telling him, I'm lazy. I don't want to do nothing. You are supposed to take care of me. You are my money. That's what she's saying. And that's what a lot of them say. And hey, look, my family is not excluded. My daughter, no, they are not excluded because of the arm that's been pulled for so many years, so many times, however often. It's been this thing that has been posed against brothers from young to old. We've been subject. Now, when we apply correction to the situation, Well, that's when we get all the pushback, the projections. You don't care about me. You supposed to take care of me. I'm your mama. How many times have we heard that? I'm your mama.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's exactly what I was getting ready to say. When that happens, the seeds of guilt, those first strings of guilt, are starting to be sown. Because if something goes on, now you've got a whole rope chained to his heart where you can pull, and just a ton of guilt will come through because you've been doing this all through his childhood, all for so long, because you're trying to get back at the man that you chose to give a baby to.
Yeah, and I've said, and I'm gonna say shout out to Mr. Suge to you, because you reminded me of something I was just thinking about. He he said Roger had a short some time ago, how to create your own slave in the modern era, that would have fit perfectly here. And
This
that
is
clip
it.
I was talking about, how black women are trying to create their own slaves. And I've said time and time again, they're trying to sully the field with so many incompetent black men, or actual pookies, men that just refuse to get up and work, even though they are not 65. They don't have any disability. They don't have any other income coming in to justify them not working. They want real pookies out here at overwhelming numbers, so they can finally say, this is our justification for our behavior. So they're trying to make them that way. And I just saw a woman do it on camera. Like, I already knew this was going on, but to see a mother say that to her son on camera like that, to see an actual mother say it to her actual son. Like, I get them saying it to somebody else's son, yeah, but telling it to your own son, like, that's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in my life. Real talk. This is one of the most
Hey,
disgusting things I've ever seen in my
hey,
life.
And
Roger.
what's gonna happen, Roger? What's gonna happen when he becomes a grown man? I'm talking grown man for real, grown man status, and he looks back over his life. He's going to reevaluate his mother as a woman, and she is not going to like his view of her, because he will have experienced women, and women will have either made him swallow a blue pill, or swallow a red pill, or swallow a black pill. You all understand my references. He's going to look back at his mother, and he's going to judge her. And it's going to be a harsh judgment, and she may not live through it. It may be a judgment that kills her. But this is something that these women these days, they don't listen to. They don't understand. Time is not your friend, and I'm not just talking about your body, sweetheart. Time is not your friend. When you don't do folks right when you're young, guess what? People remember when they get older. They remember you. They remember the attitude. They remember the disrespect. They remember all of those things. And you go from being that woman who had potential with a great body. I could have dealt with it. Now you just old and fat. And if you like Vivica Fox, you old, fat, and you got a BBL. Tragically. You're still trying to hold on. You're still trying to hold on to something you should have let go of a long time ago. That's because you all did not know how to win and get out of the game. Y'all still playing. And when you that old and you playing, you just look sad. And nobody wants to pick up a sad looking woman.
Hey,
nobody does.
Hey, look, it used to be a time when they grew old gracefully. It used to be a time when they grew old gracefully.
Yeah, all of them women dead.
But you see, there
I ain't never
are.
heard of a graceful pirate.
Hey, look. Hey, look, man. Look, hear me out. It used to be back when where there was respectable women, but now we're in a era of disrespectful hoes. And I'm saying for the brothers, it is a challenge, and I'm gonna just say it off top. Everybody ain't gonna make it. That's why we need brothers like Roger and Chef and myself and various others to have the conversation and say it out loud. Look, brother, that's not the way to go. Your mama taking you in a bad direction, brother. Don't do that, brother, because that's going to get you caught up. Now,
Hey, Gold.
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's also on us to say, hey, Roger, just let that one go. No, we can't say that one. We got to know when to cut some folks off.
Right.
And
Everybody's not going to make it, man.
Listen. I'm not a religious person anymore, but look, not even everybody got on the ark.
Yeah.
Let that sit where it may. Let that marinate how it needs to.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't meant to be saved.
Yeah. Hey, you the choices we make dictate the life we lead, man.
Oh goodness! Listen, I said this. I said this a ton of times on the show. When you born, you look like your parents. When you die, you look like your decisions.
Hey, the choices we make dictate the life we lead.
There you go.
And where we're at now. Look, a lot of people refuse to even listen. Now, I use that word purposely. Listening is imperative. A lot of people refuse to listen to what we're saying, let alone accept it. Let alone accept it. They refuse to just listen and say, "Oh, you know what? I can get your point." They refuse to even listen to what's being said because they're locked into what the media said, what their mama has said, and I've had my own battles, man, because I've said, hey, my dad coming for my mom all day. But people would get mad at me because my position stands as such. Now, my father and mother were married. Okay. So I perhaps have a different perception now, even though they divorced later. But what I'm saying is, my father gave me, I had a different love. Look, when my father was leaving this world, I was the one to carry him to the hospital. That connection right there goes deep, brother. That's not something that everybody experiences. I literally carried him out the door when he was moving on to his next life. That is a deep connection, and happening to experience, man. And when people say, wow, well, it's my mama first. Well, okay, I get you, but it's my dad first all day off top. Because my dad, it's easy to go and say to your mom. It's easy. People don't like to go to the heart. They go to the easiest way of access or the easiest form of direction to attain the goal. Right?
Well, you know what? I think a lot of people just say stuff that don't make sense and they want to fit in. And I think it's partly is because of the spread of black women's delusion. Because I remember telling somebody, they asked me a question about, and it's one of those tough questions for folks. Who you gonna save, your mama, your dad first? Now, my perspective, I went with my father. You know what I'm saying? And people just couldn't understand. I said, man, if I save my father, I probably could save my mama too. Because now it's two men working to save one woman at the end of the day. And then the thing is that people will try to put you in these scenarios where they say, well, they want me to pick my mama over my daddy. Now, I love my mama to death. And I tell them all the time, y'all, who you think I want to be like? What's your question based in? Because when in the real world, I want to be my daddy. I don't want to be my mom. Okay? Right. I love my mama to death. But I don't want to be my mama. I want to be my daddy. You know, so I don't even get why you would try to pin the two together in the first place. You know, but even if it's just for you to get me to say something or see what my head is, man, why don't you want to be like your daddy? Because I see you as deficient if you were to be like your mama than your daddy and you a male. I can understand a woman saying, I'm gonna pick my mama because they women. Who she's supposed to be like? If she got to be like the two of them, yeah, I get her trying to be like her mama. That makes sense to me. But I'm a dude. What? Why would if I got to pick between a man that loves me and a woman that loves me, you don't think I'm gonna pick the man that I want to be like? You don't think that's natural? But I think, you know, this black woman's world, you know, that people live in, where, you know, somehow your mama's supposed to be first no matter what the scenario is. It's a lot of scenarios where my mama will be first, but she ain't gonna be first in every scenario because I'm a man.
Well, Roger, you had the entire decade of the 80s and the decade of the 90s. The soundtrack was just that. Put women first. That was the soundtrack for the 80s and 90s.
You ain't never lied.
So you got a whole generation that came up listening to this on the radio, and now here goes another difference. Baby mama babies, they listen to one thing on the radio, and for the sake of argument, I'm gonna say regular children listen to something else on the radio. Baby mama babies, they listen to men ain't, they listen to no scrubs, men ain't this, men ain't that, men.
Yeah. They listen to the Sexy Red. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Whereas regular children, they might have seen mama and daddy argue, but they heard a song that daddy put on that made mama smile, and they saw mama and daddy make up. So they understand conflict resolution on a deeper level. They understand what commitment means on a deeper level. They even understand what it means to disobey a man on a deeper level. Cause see, you a single, you in your single mama house, and you disobey your single mama. Well, she gonna go off to prove a point because she's still trying to keep you as her slave. You disobey your father in his house, he's going to teach you a lesson that you will carry for the rest of your life, and you will then impart that lesson to your children.
Off top.
There's a difference, because women most times seek control. Men seek discipline, and discipline and disciple are the same root word. You can't have discipline if you're not trying to make a disciple. And just like Roger say, I want to be like my daddy. My fathers want their sons to grow up to be like them. That's why we make disciples. That's why we discipline the way we do. It's not about control. Because at some point, son, I'm going to voluntarily give you control. Because I'm going to be too old to do it. And I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to sit back in my chair, my glass of whiskey and my cigar, and I'm going to be like, yeah, that's my son. I'm proud of him because he could take it over. Look at him. Look at him.
Right.
They doing it. That's a different joy, and women don't understand that. Because, see, again, time is not friendly to women. So they don't understand the value of time. They don't understand how to actually use time to their best advantage.
Well, I would say that it's okay to look at your mother and say, oh, you know, I like that part of my mom. Meaning, oh, my mom, she really was nurturing when I was in my feelings about something. She was able to talk to me about something that I was in my feelings about. Okay, that's a trait that I can pick up from my mother and be able to talk to my children or relatives, whatever have you, and be able to relay that type of conversation and be sound in that conversation. That is welcome. That is welcoming. That is a welcoming trait. Okay, because there's no one man or child or woman or whoever who doesn't get one trait from the other. You're gonna get traits from both. So when
Right.
I'm looking at the mother, I would say my mother was I like that nurturing trait where she knows how to console me because she's consoled my father, right? She's consoled my
Yes.
father. So I can welcome that, right? But at the end of the day, my father is going to apply order because this world requires order. Even though we may see a
Yes.
lot of chaos, this world requires order. And my father is the one who will give me that line of order to where I can carry on in my life and give it to my son and daughter so they can continue on to understand what order is and perhaps live in a better way.
I'm gonna say this real quick, and now we passed the 3 hour mark, so I'm gonna have to bring it to a close. Shout
Yes,
out to
sir.
QM who said, "My father-in-law passed. He died and told all 4 of his sons to make sure they take care of their mom. That was a decade ago, and their mom has never paid a bill or managed property since he died. See, that's order, And you
Mm-hmm.
had men that want to be like their daddy. My daddy showed that he could take care of my mama. So what am I gonna do? I can make sure my mom was taken care of. My daddy left some stuff behind. We got some properties to manage or whatever. You know what I'm saying? We handling our business. We can still take care of our wives, our children, and we can look out for our mama. Because our father trained us to not need him when he died. And I think that's
Bingo.
one of the biggest things that a lot of black folks need to really come to terms with. We're gonna have to even impart it to these black women and get it in their world and stop giving them excuses, y'all. Because to me, I'm gonna tell you, if you're a good parent, and this includes all you single mothers, if you can't say I got my child to the point that my child don't need me, you didn't do a good job. Because everybody should expect to die before their child, which
Yep.
means inherently your child will have to face this world without you. And if you don't teach your child not to need you, you're a horrible parent. And that's why that video, when I saw a mother tell her son, don't get no job because I want to be okay in my Section 8, not your Section 8. I need to be okay in my Section 8. Man, I'm talking about that, boy. That's one of the roughest things I ever seen, man. Yeah, I can't tell you how I actually feel about that because that was just so devastating to me to see it up close like that. Now I know I ain't never seen a woman just flat out say that to her son like that. I ain't never seen that. Now I had all types of conversations with people and they done told me what they done did, what they done said. Now I ain't never just seen a woman just really tell her son like that, nigga, don't get no job. I need you to
Roger,
be a bum.
Roger. Look, man. Um, I was I was with this girl. Her auntie, literally, I'm telling you in real time. Her auntie was her son. One of her sons. Well, she sent both her sons out, but one of her sons was an amputee, right? And he was only like 13, probably about 13, 14. She literally sent him out to go be on those mediums. The median in the road, hold the
Mhm.
sign up and get it. She literally did that on a regular, brother. This was back then. So
Today,
this was back then, brother. This is real time. So that kind of video doesn't surprise me, man. I'm speaking of me personally. It doesn't surprise me because literally she sent her boys out to steal, panhandle in real time, brother.
Yep.
bro,
Seen it.
all I can say, and I'm gonna close the show out, y'all. I'm not gonna say it even surprised me, man. It was hard for me to see that though. I'm not
And
gonna
no,
lie.
it
All
shouldn't
the
be hard, brother. It shouldn't be
no,
hard.
no, I'm saying all the bad stuff I know people are doing. I done
Yes,
had
sir.
all these conversations with people, got all these track record. I done seen all types of stuff. That's the first time I actually saw a mother tell her son, be a bum. You usually don't hear them say it in those flat out terms. She literally told this nigga not to get a job because you gonna mess up my Section 8. Like, I done heard women say all kinds of stuff. I done heard women call their sons bum. I ain't never seen them specifically tell them to go be a bum. That's different, you know. And to me, it's just heart-wrenching because I understand that that's a man out there in the world, and if he think like his mama, he toast.
Yeah,
I
but
get
Roger,
that. He toast.
at some point, you know, you everybody's not going to make it, brother, and you become numb to the BS. You become, I mean, because those the levers that are being pulled directly and indirectly are forever being pulled, and we're the ones who have to battle through that on a regular basis. Everybody's not going to make it. That's
No,
just the fact about it.
I agree, but they supposed to at least be hiding. and
Yeah,
the
well,
dude pulled the camera
they
out.
supposed. Well, no, Roger,
No,
no.
I'm just saying, bro. The fact that he pulled the camera out and she didn't stop, that's amazing.
Roger,
Go ahead.
Roger. You are not taking into consideration this generation.
Right.
I have two pills in my hand, Roger. One red, one blue. Okay?
And I got the black one in my hand.
Thank you. Doggone it. A pigeon just doggone took that blue pill out of my hand, so I ain't got nothing but a red pill, and he got a black pill.
Now,
Welcome
what you
to
doing,
reality,
Roger?
brother. What you doing?
What you doing, Roger?
Hey, man, I'm accepting it, man. It's just hard because, man, they supposed to hide it at
See,
least. They supposed to hide it at least.
Now you're doing what AL says is a curse word.
No.
You,
I'm
sir.
accepting
No. Wait, Roger. You, sir, are still in your feelings about it.
Hey, man.
Roger in his feelings.
Hey,
you in your feelings about this one, Roger.
I'm upset for that young man. I'm gonna pray for that young man, and I'm gonna call it a day.
Pray for him and let it go. But pray for him and keep moving.
Yeah. All right, y'all.
We have more ammo. We have more ammo.
Yeah. It's Friday, y'all. I'm letting it go. I'm letting this show go till Monday, of course. But we'll be back. If you're new here, make sure you tune in 9 a.m. Central Time. Yo, Chicago time. I get it. You might be in Milwaukee, but I'm talking Chicago. Well, now Milwaukee might fall. Yeah, that falls right in us. But regardless, Chicago time, y'all. 9 a.m. Monday through Fridays. We here. Check us out. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. Thank you for everybody who came through today. Even AL, even what was his name today? McGrady?
He be having multiple names, man.
Yeah, whatever it was. Even
whatever what he was.
McGrady, I'm gonna say, man, you could. I mean, come on, man. With McGrady, you could pat yourself on the back here and that, man. You done earned something. You can say what you think, man. You can say what you think. It's all right. I don't think it was that terrible of a statement. I really don't think it was that terrible of a statement. Shout out to T-Mac out here. Y'all, long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm right. And I'm out.
Yeah.